We got 2 special guests in the house, and phase 2 is going to come later on.
Destiny and Zherka.
Can you guys introduce yourself to the people real quick? We'll start with Destiny.
Yeah, I'm Destiny. You guys know who I am. I'm on youtube.com/Destiny, kick.com/Destiny, and Instagram.com/Destiny. I do politics and gaming. And
you're on Rumble too, right?
Not anymore.
Ah, God damn it! Wait, what?
I'll be on Rumble tonight, though.
Come on, man. That is true with us, but wait, come on, man.
No ill will. I love him. It's a good platform. I wish him the best.
But he's on Kick. That's why he's on the Ops.
Oh,
the Ops. Yeah.
Traitor.
Yeah.
I do a ton of travel and shit. And without getting into specifics, my last contract, I have to there's like a minimum number of streams they wanted, and I just I'm out of the country so much. Like I just traveled. I'm going out of town again at the end of the month. It's just too much to juggle everything. Yeah.
Understandable.
Okay.
Yeah. Rumble's still better though. But
just saying.
And then Zherka, we know who you are, but can you just introduce yourself to the people, please?
Yeah, John fucking Zherka, ex-Muslim, prayed to Christ, and then what happened after the prayer? All of this good stuff in my life. Some people think it's a grift, which is irrelevant because I converted 14.
When you become super famous, don't forget us, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, do you mean tomorrow? We're gonna have dinner.
Christ is king.
But I can
pay for dinner tonight, nigga.
Yeah, easy. I leaked where we're going. That's how I fucked up.
What?
Yeah. We gotta switch the spot to a cheaper place. But I got 1,400 of the youth, 1,400 students to convert to Christ. A lot of them were Muslims from your show. From just talking about dating and stuff. And then they looked into my shit. So, yeah, I appreciate the platform, guys. And
Christ is king.
Christ is king. And I run the Dark MAGA campaign. So, yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Cool.
This is amazing.
Yeah, this is amazing. So phase 1, guys, of the discussion, we're going to talk about the Jonah Hill situation. I got all of y'all were messaging me like crazy to cover this Jonah Hill situation. As you guys know, he got into like a breakup with his chick or whatever. Jonah Hill. Anyway, I won't go much further than that.
Do you want to go in the chats?
Yes, you know what? I could read some of these chats real quick. While I read the chats, do you have the screens ready and everything for the Jonah thing? I'm going to fly through some of these guys because we already got 18,000 y'all watching. And then I think we got probably another 10 or 20K on Rumble watching. So I'm going to fly through these. From this point forward, though, I'm only going to read 100 and up super chats, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm going to read these that came in before. You guys are smart that got them in before. Destiny taking his wife's boyfriend to do an STD test. Funny. Prada goes, hypostatic union, esoterically calculating the sun and planets, making allegories corresponding above so below your demurrage. God won't save you.
It's a demiurge. It's a Plato thing. And he's pretty much talking about the occult sciences. It's like witchcraft.
Okay. And then we got Mike Biggs here. Let's go Berserker, Christ is King. All right. Yes. We got Zherka goes, it's Littler's I see what you did there. Right. And man, the atheist Smurf and the mixed race Muslim and the cocaine crusader. Lord have mercy. W Martin, W Fresh, W Chris, W Big Mo, W the girls, BTS. Let's have a good show. Cool. And then we got
wait, are you sure? Are you chat? Are you sure you guys don't want to like switch and watch Ethan Klein? No, I gotta flex before we start the show. What YouTubers are on your level right now? After this content, we don't ask you guys to subscribe here. We ask you to unsubscribe to every other channel. They're not doing this.
Well, sub to who you want to, but we're doing some God's work.
Yeah. Like the video, guys, because real talk, we on the verge of cancellation. Christ is King, Border Patrol, thank you so much. The Void goes, the real Avengers assemble tonight, minus the blue-haired guy, he's dumb, but every hero needs a villain. Christ is King.
Hey, he's not a villain, he's a foil.
Flip, man. You know, you guys always talk shit about Destiny. Let me tell y'all something, man. I like Destiny. Me and him get along, right? We disagree on many things. He's like, I'm Ash and he's Gary. But we need each other. We're rivals. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
I think Gary lets his wife get fucked. Gengar. She don't do it that.
Destiny, you can take it from him?
Yeah.
Don't take that from him, bro.
I will say this.
There's nothing I can say to him. In 6 months, his life will be exactly where it was 6 months ago. And then I'll feel bad for having talked shit.
Melina, watch out. I got a Gyarados.
Like, this guy's nose is almost disintegrated from all the fucking partying this guy's doing.
Black nigga Gyarados. Adam 22 knows. Did you see Adam 22? My nigga, a full-on cock. What the fuck?
Oh, my God.
And now I can't, because I said this, I'm not invited to his platform. But, like, bro, you're a cock.
He said you're not invited?
No, I just know he's a cuck, and he's gonna get mad when he sees this.
Oh my God!
I don't think he'll get mad.
He made like $3 million letting his wife get piped by the blackest man I've ever seen, the biggest cock, dude.
Wait, you saw his cock?
I watched the whole thing.
All right, I'm moving on.
I was investigating.
I want the panel to talk about John Hill things that happen. Crazy. We can't send boundaries anymore. Women are lost in the West. We got you, Border Patrol. Herb Seasoning goes, we're so back, the fellas, the boys, the dudes, the homies. We're going to win. We are the Legion. The energy has shifted and the consciousness is rising. Total Christ victory. See you all at Mass. Okay?
All right. Shit and Bricks.
Shit and Bricks goes, dude. Oh, this is the misogyny panel right here. This is about to be fire episode. Let's go, Jesus King. Keep doing God's work. Like the video. Okay?
Well, to be fair, we don't hate women. The modern day woman is not even a fucking woman. It's like a different fucking species at this point, right? Like, be honest. If we're misogynists, who in this studio's mom would say the modern day woman is like moves correct like a human? Our moms would say, what?
Nope.
You guys are giving them status, a place to live, money. You're giving them security, protecting them from
Zherka,
like
you
a
literally
black guy.
bailed your ex out of fucking prison after she fucking assaulted you, okay, to the fucking cops. Why the
Yeah,
fuck are you even
because-
talking about this right now?
because
If
I know-
anybody's giving women too much, it's you, motherfucker. Come on.
You're saying I should have beat
Go
her
to the next topic.
You're
What are we
saying I
talking
should have
about?
beat her up,
What are we
right?
talking about?
I
Go to the
should've
next
beat her
thing. Holy fuck. Jesus,
You know
you're like
what's
the
funny?
number one simp on the panel, okay? Holy shit.
No.
Yes.
I bailed the bitch out.
sorry,
I bailed the bitch out because when I called security,
Yeah, why are we on Twitch? Oh, this is bad on Twitch, yo. Yo, guys, come on over to YouTube and Rumble right now, man.
hold on. Let me guard my reputation. I called security. Okay, the bitch hit me with something, and it hurt. She meant to throw it at my chest. She hit my lip.
Oh.
So I said, I'm not gonna grab her. I said, get the fuck out of my hotel. And I called big black security. Security comes up and they're like, get her out. But then one of them looks and sees I'm 255 pounds and she's 100 pounds and she's crying. And they're like, yo, we can't do shit. We're calling the police. I'm no fucking snitch, bro. Even if she knifed me, I would never call the cops. That's why I bailed the bitch out, because I'm no snitch, right? And this is what happened. I prayed. I was like, holy fuck, my life's over. This is a dirty hotel. And, you know, I used to do blow. So, so check it out. They start raiding the place and they start arresting me, but the big black officer shines a light. And I'm like, oh, it's the light of Jesus. But then when my eyes focused, he said, you're coming with me. And I'm like, oh, fuck, who's going to believe me? I'm going to jail forever. It's Twitch gone. My career is ruined. And then he turned the light on again, the black guy, and he saw my lip was swelling. And he's like, you're being abused by that girl. And he started fucking grabbing her and they all locked her up in front of me. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, Jesus saved my life for that. And that's the day I actually said I'm a Christian. So that's the story. I'm no fucking simp.
Okay. Christ is King.
Hold on. But to make Destiny look good, when Destiny was my only friend, he literally said to me in a dark room, why are you with that girl? This is what's going to happen. Leave her now. I'm never telling you again. And I'd call him for advice and shit. Calling him for relationship advice. It's a fuck. You know, he gives bad advice, but for me, it's great, right? He understands. The amphetamine guys, they get it. The Adderall guys. But he said, leave her. And that week, that all that madness happened. So I should have listened to him, but
instead he took his last $2,000, walked to the police station on his knees.
5,000.
I said, please let my queen free. I need her to hit me some more so I can go talk about men are simps.
But check this out. The toxic girl is the best pussy of your life.
I will
All
agree.
right. Let me get through this. All right.
Yeah.
What does the panel know about Daniel Levin and an American? Oh God, here. Wait until Rumble, guys. All right, we're gonna cover that on Rumble. Glenn Lawrence, Zherka lost to me in our debate on religion, and now has to move to Vegas to join the dark side.
He's a pastor. That guy's a pastor.
We got here Marn, Fresh, and what are your respective IQ scores? You'll see that on phase 2. We got here NF, humans are never homogenous. White people are not. They always find something that divides. Scottish want independence from England. Somalia is generally one African tribe, but then
Okay, can I answer this? Can I answer this?
Supports getting along.
Okay, I know what you're trying to do, where you're like, well, what's really white? Is Scottish? Is Italian? Is it? Dude, when you go to prison, you get adopted by your haplogroups, your DNA, or else you get stabbed to death. You'll know you're white when you're in prison. You'll know you're black when you're in prison. You'll know what you are. So pretending white doesn't exist is a fucking retarded position. It's going to get you killed.
Why would you decide what reality is like based on what prison's like? You know what else you learn in prison? Every motherfucker's gay. Is that real life?
No,
in real life, does everybody take up the ass like they do in prison?
Actually,
why the fuck would you let prison dictate your view about people who have worked through all the history of the world?
He's ignoring the fact.
Jesus fuck. Next dono. I can't do this all night.
Kill me. This is my rebuttal. Kill me. It's not just prison. When you look at high schools, the Asians with the Asians, the brown with the brown, it's a tribal thing. It's a tribe. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, the point
Humans
is that the
are
tribes
tribal.
change depending on who you're around.
What is the white tribe?
Well, I don't
Is
know
it
what the fuck
European
the white.
DNA?
It depends on who you're around. If everybody's around you is white, I don't know. It might be the English tribe or the Scottish tribe or the fucking.
So you know what? Define white.
What do you mean define white?
What's a white guy?
I don't. Somebody that looks white.
Wait till phase two.
Yeah, we already had disagreements prior to the show about what white even was. Okay, so what are you talking about, dude?
Phase two.
Okay.
All right.
Can I be white? I want to be the master. Oh,
Well, what about Hassan? He's white sometimes, isn't he?
yeah. Fine,
There you go. If Hassan can be white, you can be white. Okay.
He's probably watching right now.
Probably.
And if he is, your real name is Lasan.
And fuck you, Hassan, because let me tell you something. I went on a date with him. It was a 3-way date. Him, Mia Malkova, and Hassan Piker, and we recorded it on Twitch.
You actually met him?
Oh, we did content together for years. He grew my channel, I grew his. Yeah, I was bigger than him. I had 9,000 views when I met him. He had 200 playing Fortnite like a little cuck. And then when they started banning the right-wing guys, he blew up because he was a plant. They actually, Twitch said, "Come to us." He's a plant.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, this is like known. He
We'll
didn't
tell
go
you
to
who
Twitch.
planted him in phase 2.
No. I didn't say that.
Go to the next. No. Where we at? We'll come back. We'll Super chat.
Nick and Destiny, when is your next dialogue with Eric Stryker on Mike Enoch of the National Justice Party? Also, Zherka, recommend you reach out to one of them and have a discussion about the JQ or Dem Boys Crisis King. Wait till phase 2. If John Zherka owns a hockey team, he would call them the Slow Blowers. Probably. Red Fox, $20. Appreciate that. And then we got Aaron Martinez. Looking forward to a high level, but more importantly, hilarious show tonight. What are your thoughts on this girl trying to cancel Jonah Hill? Why do you disagree? Destiny, don't.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, that's
Chris,
a big
are we
one.
caught up on the ones that came through from before?
Yeah,
Because all those other chats came in from before.
Yeah, from
So
before.
guys, from this point forward, we're only going to read
100.
100 and up.
Yeah.
And then the chats that came up before, I read those because you guys know, fresh and fifth fashion, always read the chats that came in prior to.
And I read everything at twitter.com/ZherkaOfficial if you want your questions to me directly.
Yes,
Cool.
and actually everyone's links are below, so check out these guys.
That's
on
no,
Because they shadow banned me and I still grew another 40,000 followers. But bro, how do you
we
get
shadow
a
ban on Twitter too.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you get it reversed? Because Twitter, I go to fucking holy wars arguing with people. It's my favorite
Call
platform.
Elon, bro.
Elon?
Call Elon.
Fuck.
Because I don't know how to do it, bro.
He's busy with
No,
an
no.
MMA battle.
All right, so today's for phase 1 of the talk, guys, we're going to talk about Jonah Hill. As you guys know, it's all over the fucking news. You guys have sent me literally hundreds of DMs talking about this situation. For some of you guys that are wondering, Jonah Hill, actor, we can pull up his picture real quick, Chris, on Wikipedia real fast, just so they know who he is.
He's a fat ass.
Superbad was the movie that I remember him the most from, but he's been in a bunch of them.
Wolf of Wall Street was his best performance. Is that the same guy?
Yes, yeah, he was in Wolf of Wall Street, co-leading with Leonardo DiCaprio.
I'm not gonna let these guys fuck my cousin. If anyone's gonna fuck my cousin, it's gonna be me. That was proper logic. You have a hot cousin? We all got a hot
What's
cousin.
the one with the
Yeah, here he is right here. This is the actor for some of you guys that are wondering, right?
Is he a cock?
Jonah Hill Feldstein.
Jump Street.
Yeah.
Jump Street.
It's an American actor, comedian, and producer. He's known for where am I here? He is known for his comedic roles in films including Superbad, Knocked Up, Get In to the Greek, 21 Jump Street, This is the End, and 22 Jump Street. And then obviously for his performances in Moneyball, The Wolf of Wall Street, he was nominated for Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. So as you guys know, you look at him, obviously very famous actor. He went viral recently for getting in a discussion with this girl about boundaries. And as you guys, I think you watch this Fresh and Fit.
Probably, bro.
Man, the RP is here to stay. I know Destiny hates the RP, the red pill, but guys are waking up, man. And I look at the red pill as nothing more than truth. Destiny probably disagrees with me on this, which is fine. But this is basically him arguing with his girl. It goes, this is a warning to all girls. If your partner is talking to you like this, make an exit plan. Love y'all. Call me if you need an ear. And it goes here, all the posts I removed from my page. Good start. You don't seem to get it, but it's not my place to teach you. I made my boundaries clear. This is Jonah talking to her.
Yeah.
You refuse to let go of some of them, and you've made that clear, and I hope it makes you happy. So, guys, his girlfriend is basically a surfer. She has a bunch of pictures of herself in scantily clad clothing.
Yeah.
Showing her body. Yeah, pretty much. And then he goes, plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. Okay, and then is there another part of this?
Yeah, I think there's one more.
Okay, and then another portion of the conversation. She had me agree to paddle away from any man that approached me in the water, no matter his age. I was instructed to say, I'm going to go talk to my boyfriend and then paddle away. That makes me want to go stab someone. Wow, who is this therapist? LOL. What? She was like enabling his possessiveness, isolation, and jealous. Wow, 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 wow. And this is from the Sarah Brady chick. Is that his chick? The Sarah Brady girl?
That was a conversation between his chick and then another friend. Of hers.
So basically, guys, sum it up. He doesn't like her pictures on Instagram. Doesn't like her being around a bunch of dude friends, and he has boundaries. And she basically called him a misogynistic narcissist for having this. So
she should meet me, dude.
He made it clear through text what his boundaries were. So as a man, you set your boundaries, but
I disagree. I don't think he made it clear because, and you agreed with me. We talked about it earlier, actually, bro. First of all, 90% of human communication is nonverbal. If you're deep in a relationship and you have to text boundaries, like that should be autopilot for the dumb bitch. She should know week one, right? You texting boundaries. She needs a software update? Are you kidding? If you're texting boundaries, quit. You lost. The boundaries thing is like week one.
Fair enough. Dustin, what's your take on this?
I think it's crazy that she tried to expose him. I think he's fully within his right to say, like, hey, listen, these are my boundaries. I also think it's a little bit fucking retarded to date a surfer chick that posts pictures on Instagram and expect her not to post any pictures on Instagram as a surfer chick. So, I mean, like, it just seems kind of dumb all around. Like I said, I think he can express his boundaries if he wants. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't seem like he was doing it in an abusive, controlling way. She's within her right to say, like, you know what, this isn't for me. I'm going to peace out. But one of the criticisms I have for you guys all the time is if you go and you pick up a girl that acts a certain way and lives a certain lifestyle, she's not going to flip on that in 180.
Yes, she will.
No, she won't.
If you maxed out the trinity
Did she for him?
He didn't max out the trinity of status, network, and looks.
Oh, so starring in a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. That's not outfit.
That's
one.
Fuck
you.
He's a fat ass. He's a fucking fat ass. Who's going to respect a fat ass?
Hold on.
So what Zherka's saying is, if you're listening to this program, you're fucking hopeless. Because if you're not as cool as Jonah Hill, who's in fucking how many A-list fucking Hollywood celebs, A-list fucking motion picture.
I've got bitches in my phone.
Crazy.
I got bitches.
Crazy.
Hold on, Dustin. Hold on.
I can leak screenshots of bitches in my phone who have ditched DJ Khaled, Leonardo DiCaprio to stay with me, and I have all the bitches' passwords.
Hold on.
How many other people in industry those girls
guys, let's just draw attention. He did say that he didn't max out the trinity of aesthetics. He mentioned the looks as well, Destiny. He did mention that.
Yeah.
So
he looks okay. He's passable.
No, but he's saying like
for
he didn't
girls.
max out. He has the status, which you're correct about. He has the money, which you're correct about. But Zherka mentioned also the looks.
And I disagree. Does he really have the status when people in Hollywood are at his level, but with six packs? There's different types of status that fuse with looks. So when you're competing for these girls, you're competing with like these fucking ripped or Leonardo.
Yeah, this is like some. I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about right now. I'll just reiterate what I said at the beginning because this is gonna be true for 99% of relationships. I don't know what fantastic delusional coke shit you're on right now, but the reality is, if you meet a girl and she's lived a lifestyle all up until the point where she's met you, she's probably gonna continue to lead that lifestyle. You guys even know this intuitively. It's why you stay away from girls with high body counts. Because if a girl's fucked 20 guys by 20 years old, you don't think she's gonna stop for you, right? You don't think she's gonna stop for you, right? So if a girl's been doing surfing shit, she's been posting pictures, she does like modeling, bikini shit up until 24. I think this girl was. Why the fuck do you think she would instantly turn that off? I think she was like 24, 25.
She looks older.
She might, but I think she was like
Chris,
10.
do a quick fact check for us.
Go
Let us know
check
how old
everything.
she is.
She's ugly too.
I think she was 24, 25. But like,
Okay.
the idea
Let her finish.
the idea that the girl's gonna change up completely as soon as she meets you, probably not gonna happen.
Okay, Zherka, go ahead. What's the response to that?
Okay, when I was getting canceled, you're so abusive. You took your ex, the streamer girl, I took her $80,000 worth of trips in 6 months, and I needed the trips for myself. I was losing it after lockdown, but she stayed in a basement for a year. Him and his wife, he never made her do anything. He just adopted that lifestyle. So he doesn't believe you can change someone.
25 years old.
But if Destiny said to Melina, now you can't go out anymore, she'd still stay with him.
Chris, pull up her photo real quick.
Because he's got the
no, she would no shot.
What?
If I told Melina you're gonna change your entire fucking lifestyle for me,
if you said no open, she would stay with you.
maybe if I close too, but
can you agree that if someone loves you, they're going to make changes for you? So
No,
ultimately speaking, if she was actually saw him as an option, for example, the top guy, hey, he doesn't like this, or you know what, I'm going to acquiesce to that.
if you're trying to find a real relationship and you want something that's going to work, then in an ideal setting, both of you might be like 90% and you might move 10% for each other. But if you find somebody and you try to get them to change their whole life for you, that's always a recipe for disaster. How many times do you tell girls, like, don't try to change a guy? How many times you find a guy and you say, don't try to pick up a girl in a club, right? Like, there are conventional wisdoms here that you guys all intuitively know this. And I'm sure you've said it in one form or another before. You don't try to find somebody and just change them completely. Like, you just don't do it. It's a recipe for disaster.
Who is higher value, you or Melina?
It depends on to who? To you?
to the world.
It depends on how you measure it. I don't know, man.
I mean, do we get our confidence from internal or
You're
external?
asking, so I have more money, more status, more clout than her, but I'm also like 10 years older than her, right? She's younger, she's a woman, she's hot as fuck, she's sweet. Like, I don't know, in 10 years, she might be more than me. I don't know.
In 10 years, she's going to be older.
Hold on, lower value. I think Destiny, I think what he's asking is who has more sexual market value in the open sexual marketplace is what he's asking. Who do you think has more? You or her?
And here we go as well.
And that's the chick. What the fuck? She's
fucking busted. That's what the fuck $1 billion gets. Leave me in Skid Row, bro. I'll take Toothless any day. That's busted.
Holy. Okay.
Wow.
Did I miss the stream where you guys cried for 30 minutes because was it Jeff Bezos married like a 50-year-old girl? Did you guys get over that one?
I would cry. If I saw that, I would kill myself.
That wasn't my stream. But okay, so Destiny, who do you think has more? His question is, who do you think has more value in the open sexual marketplace when we're gonna?
When you say open sexual marketplace, do you guys mean just to fuck, or do you mean for dating as well?
Okay, if you take her,
thank you,
versus you, who has a higher SMV in their respective gender?
Yeah, no, I'm asking what's the sexual market value for you guys? Does it include just hooking up, or does it include like relationships as well?
No sustaining.
Because in terms of fucking, a 6 out of 10 girl will have more sexual market value than every guy on this planet on the panel, right?
Yeah,
like can fuck like 1,000 guys in a night. But in terms of like getting high quality relationships, I don't know. I mean,
well, we could go from a holistic standpoint if you want to do that.
For everything,
we could go from the holistic standpoint.
It would depend on. It would depend on how much either of us are willing to change. Realistically, I don't know if I could find a woman that would be okay with me working 14 hours a day. I don't know if she could find a guy that's okay with her being in open relationships and traveling and streaming. I don't know.
I think
it depends.
The girls in your Discord, there's 40 of them trying to fuck you. They would all take the 14-hour Destiny worker.
Yeah, but I don't know if I would want to date those girls.
But Zherka did give you a comment. He said that you have higher sexual market value than her.
Yeah,
is what he's trying to say.
Yeah, but he's not complimenting me. He's shitting on my wife.
No, I'm not. Whoa. On Jesus' name, I'm not talking about Melina. I'm trying to paint the picture that we men adopt the position that she's better than us always. But like, look at our lives, bro. You think a girl goes from living in my penthouse to just an average Joe, or even if she gets an influencer, he can't fight. He's not good looking. He's not funny. He's not viral. You know how much she misses out on, but I'm conditioned to think she's better than me by people like him. I don't want to think like that anymore.
What am I even talking about? What?
Why can't you admit? Forget Melina. Who's your last girl? Let's shit on her.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay, every girl you've been with since you're a streamer, you're probably 1,000. Is it 1,000 times more value? He's 1,000 times more valuable than any fucking e-girl. That's the truth.
I mean, how did we arrived here through? I guess the mismatch of because you're saying his girlfriend should have switched her game up for him because he has higher sexual market value, right? Jonah Hill. In this situation.
Well, I just want to make this clear. I don't know if you guys agree. Do you agree if a woman opens her legs for you? Because we in this table can all marry a McDonald's working poor woman, but a woman cannot take a Chad from McDonald's, marry them. They don't have the DNA to. What you're agreeing to is if she opens her legs for you, she's admitting you're above her. That's why they say I want equal height or above, equal money or above, but it's always above. Women date up, meaning if they're dating you, you're better than her. It's not fucking rocket science.
The average woman is 5'4". The average man is 5'9". Women want equal height or above because men tend to be taller than them. And men tend to earn more money than women. Of course, they want somebody that on general out earns them. That's just averages.
You didn't answer.
Right?
Do women date up?
Do women date? Okay, no, women date about their class.
Okay, do men date?
Men date about their class. Men date about their class.
You men go to Walmart, you'll see a Chad with a fat ass bitch in Walmart. Raise your hand if you date down.
There's just a topic we never. None of us ever agree on this. I understand it, but the reality is genuinely wealthy people don't date the woman at McDonald's or Starbucks or Target. I know you guys disagree on that, but it just doesn't happen. When you're in wealthy families, and also when you think about the mother for your children, you don't want just like a hot 18-year-old Latina with a huge fucking ass. You want an educated woman that knows how to handle her shit. That's going to raise your kids. That's going to be the mother of your kids. It is relevant. I found your mom in McDonald's and I turned her into the ideal mother. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Leave my mom alone. Do men, yes or no, do men date down?
No, not generally.
Most of the time.
No.
Do women date down?
No.
Say never.
People date about their average. What do you think is the average difference between a man and a woman's age in a relationship?
What's that have to do?
What do you think is the average difference in age? I'm just curious. What do you think is the average difference?
What do you think happens when I age 10 years? Hold on, is it the same if I age 10 years? I'm just a richer, hotter, bearded up sexist. If she ages 10 years, I got a fucking raisin Twinkie filled with cum. How the fuck is it the same thing, bro? My value goes up with the age. You don't agree with that?
I mean, it depends on what capacity. Ideally, that's the mother of your children, right? Is she a used up raisin Twinkie filled with fucking cum? Is that what you refer to the mother of your children?
He said what capacity? So if my finances,
this is also what
if my finances and status is going up, plus my network, because I have more women at Zherka 35 versus 25. We can agree. What angle are you looking at? All angles. I win when I age. She loses in every metric as she ages.
To you, she does.
To the world.
Okay.
Because we're reading statistics. You love statistics.
What statistics? You wouldn't even acknowledge the difference in age between a man and a woman.
Okay. Let's look at Ronaldo.
Ronaldo is not statistics.
Okay.
Leonardo DiCaprio is not statistics. That's why I asked you very simply. What's the average difference between a man and a woman? Right. It's less than 3 years.
Delete the
people
name.
Tend to date
delete the
people
name.
in their same socioeconomic class, same race, same neighborhoods, same schools.
You're going to drop the last few chromosomes.
Same religions.
Look at this. Delete the name Leonardo DiCaprio, but think of a man on his level. All of them are with 18, 19-year-old
That's not true, though. We just brought up, what did I just bring up? Bezos fucking married another woman who's, 50 years
That's
fucking
a name.
old.
That's a name. I'm going off
Leonardo DiCaprio is a name.
Do rich, wealthy men date younger women?
Yes.
No, on average,
what the
people
fuck, nigga?
No, dude. You're making the emotional argument. All I can do is appeal to the data. I can't. If you want to cry and make the faces or whatever, that's fine.
What do you guys say?
You don't ask them. Go look it up. At rich people that are genuinely wealthy, not people that are in fucking yachts in Dubai bragging about fucking 20-year-olds that are actually 35-year-old prostitutes that they pay to put on their boats. Actual wealthy people tend to date and marry people that are about their age. Go to any neighborhood with lawyers and doctors.
But they're cheating with a bunch of fucking 18-year-olds.
That's the point. That wasn't your question.
Their value's up.
That wasn't your question.
They're cheating with a bunch of teenagers.
Cheating or not? The question is, who do they marry?
No, but their value's up. If he's old and his scrotum hangs to the ocean on his yacht, why is there so many young girls around him when his wife's not around? Because his value's up as his scrotum got gray. That's what the point I'm making. Women's value doesn't go up with the way they age. It just doesn't.
I think I think the bottom line here is that men are more willing to concede and date a woman and or hook up with a woman that has lower value than themselves, versus women are less likely to go ahead and take that dating approach. I think that's the bottom line that we can take it, where you guys are rifting about.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
I mean, like in some generalities, it might be true, but when you look at the data, people just tend to date around their own classes. People go to the same schools with each other. People work the same jobs as each other. They're in the same neighborhoods. It's pretty rare that you get a guy with the last name Rockefeller or Kennedy that's going to Starbucks and picking up the barista. That just doesn't happen on average.
You're actually saying that women will marry a Chad with a six-pack that works at McDonald's? You're destroying lives with your opinion.
What are you talking about?
You're giggling out of the matrix.
I don't even know what. I don't even know.
Andrew. Say on camera, women have the DNA to marry a Chad that works at McDonald's. Say it. Bite the bullet. Bite the bullet.
Women that work at McDonald's will marry men that work at McDonald's.
No.
Yes.
That's wrong too. But you're saying women will date a Chad who works at McDonald's. Mary, bro. Nigga, that's a ring. Not like Adam 22.
Do you think that people that work at fast food don't have wives? To say that to the camera. Say, if you work a service job, you don't have a wife. Is that true? Say that.
No, man. No 35-year-old man who works at McDonald's is married, bro.
Okay.
They're never married.
There's no working class families. None of these poor broke motherfuckers have a wife. It's just rich men with 5 wives constantly all over the United States. Everybody's a Mormon now.
Here's Exodia. All right, draw your last pathetic card. I'll give it to him. Even if
you triggered my trap card.
Let's say I didn't win that one. Let's say he won that one.
Yeah.
I'll say, oh, okay, so there's McDonald's workers who have wives. He's really saying a woman who's about to leave him for financial insecurity, and they initiate all divorces, and she's cheating on him. So it's not really a marriage. It's kind of like he's ready to kill himself.
How is she going to leave him for financial security? Who's going to marry her?
Okay.
Are rich people wiping up multiple poor women to give them financial security? You know, hold on.
Bro.
You know that when you're a rich guy and you just fuck a poor chick, she doesn't get financial security from you. You know
Steven,
that, right?
You know,
I don't want to
get you in trouble with your wife. Us four in this table. Okay. Us four in this table. Fresh, Myron, Zherka, Destiny. If we met a model with a nice ass, she's sweet and loyal, works at McDonald's, I promise you, us four would say, fuck a prenup, bitch. Take half. Let me go inside you, bitch. All of us would marry that girl. If any woman you know met a Chad that's funny and he's great and he's perfect, but he's 32 years old and works at McDonald's, why you can't think of one fucking example is because it's never happened in history.
Aren't you literally the example?
How?
Because 6 months ago, you were a loser that fucking didn't even turn his fucking stream on and you got girls all over you, don't you?
I had status.
What
network?
status? Your
I was
status was,
Zherka.
your status was,
I had
your status
200,000 followers when I
yeah,
was a
200,000 followers. What the fuck does that mean? Your status was 500K overnight 10 years earlier on an Austin show. You are the example that you're looking for.
Whoa, check
the
it out.
chick that was dating you, that was abusing
That's
you, was
exactly my
a 19-year-old,
point. I'm not gonna say
fucking
the bitch
girl
name.
that was
He
in a
fucked
relationship
me.
with you for 1 year. You had no money, no cash, begging for help on Twitter, no clout,
Cypher.
no stream, no nothing. You are the example that defeats your argument.
Hey, you're not Obelisk the Tormentor because we were at a rooftop party. I'm not going to say the bitch's name. I hate her. You cucked me because I only had fucking 200 viewers when we went to TwitchCon and you were tripping on shrooms like, and remember when she was all over, you know who I'm talking about, that taller kind of.
I know, she's a lovely woman, but I didn't.
No, she's not a lovely woman. In any other, she gets aroused for someone like me. She even said, Zherka, you'd be a good fuck on the show. But she ignored the first time I ever got ignored because I was around influencers for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
I said the fucking Papa Smurf took my bitch. And I didn't even try. I didn't try to get the bitch, but I was like, why didn't she even look at me once? She's just thinking about absorbing clout off this dude. Bro, they date up. Meaning she saw Zherka
I didn't even
as lower.
I did like 2 streams of it. She didn't even get to absorb any clout. It's not relevant to the program.
You fucked my dream girl.
All right. We went into a totally random tangent down. The Jonah Hill thing, I would just want it like, okay, so basically,
Jonah Hill. That guy.
So it seems to me that basically the consensus is, I mean, I think me, Zherka, and Fresh are all in alignment. Like, hey, he exerted his boundaries, fantastic. You agree with it as well, Destiny. Your only thing is you can't get with a surfer girl and expect her to change for you
overnight.
Yeah,
which is,
and even that's even like I said, like I think you guys have crazy fucking dating standards. But if you're clear with your boundaries, you lay them out. The girl accepts, she accepts. She doesn't, she has the right to walk away. I don't know why you blow somebody up.
We're crazy.
Yeah, of course you're crazy.
Our dating standards
We're
are
the
not
opposite
crazy, bro.
pills. We have to think each other's crazy, right? That's
I don't
okay.
know, man.
You can think I'm crazy. It's all good.
His pill, Adam took it. He didn't like it that much. Now, check it out. I actually disagree because you said he exerted his boundaries. Exerting your boundaries as a high-value male.
He ended it.
No, that's not what you're supposed to do. Exerting your boundaries as a high-value male means even before this happens, anytime she shows any dissent, any resistance, it's abundance. You have more girls. Go out with the girls and say, hey, look, you're really, really out the door. Look how you're behaving. I've got these girls. And you film yourself with the girls. You go, I'm loyal. We're just partying. But your behavior has set this relationship for failure. That makes her come back to you. But if you say it's over, it's like, what did you invest in the pussy for? You're going to just end it?
Let me say this. I'll give my thing on it, and then we'll start phase 2 here very soon. I think the biggest thing here why this is an issue is that number one, she felt okay to leak private messages between her and him. That's an issue. And then number two is what I've realized just in general with, and Destiny, I'd be happy to hear your take on it. We live in a world now where if a man says anything or does anything that impedes on a woman's ability to exercise some kind of freedom to, solicit other candidates for some kind of courtship, that's considered misogynistic or narcissistic. But all I think it is that you're having the girl respect you as the male. But the thing I've realized is that a lot of women want to behave like they're single while simultaneously having a boyfriend at home. And I think that's inappropriate. If you have a man at home, you should behave as if you have a man at home. And you shouldn't be out or putting yourself out in a certain light where you're trying to attract other potential suitors, because the way men flirt versus the way women flirt are two different things. Men flirt by actually approaching women in general and starting a conversation. Women flirt by just making themselves available. And I think for a woman, it's her job to make herself as least available as possible out of respect for her man. But if you do anything that hurts that, women will call you misogynistic, and men can't have boundaries in 2023.
When Myron says make themselves available, ding, 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 it's a red flag when it's girls' night. Girls' night means our fucking pussy's open.
Real quick.
That's what he's talking about.
Destiny, do you agree with that sentiment, or do you disagree?
I like half agree.
Okay.
I think my perspective would be is that I think that sometimes people in life, they'll get in a relationship and they fuck with their boundaries a little bit. They're not good at communicating boundaries. They're not good at doing things that make them comfortable. And then eventually that relationship ends. And sometimes when they go to their next relationship, the pendulum swings a little bit too far, and they're either in guy boss or girl boss mode.
Okay.
Where when the partner puts up a boundary, they're like, no, like fuck that, like that's abusive, like I'm gonna do what I want, and people's minds get a little bit fucked because they're not able to communicate healthily.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Would you agree though that male boundaries in general, especially when it comes to women protecting their themselves from getting approached by other men or whatever, that's pretty much frowned upon? Like men can't be honest with women about, hey, I don't like you having certain pictures up on Instagram, or hey, I don't want you going out on girls' night out. I've noticed that that's almost always shit on, insulted, shamed, guilted to some degree. Like women want to behave like they're single even when they have a man at home. And if a man draws any attention to that, women will go ahead and shit on him.
I think it super depends on the community. I mean, like for the people that defended this woman mainly, if you
Most
look
people that are on her side,
yeah, but if you look on Twitter and shit, it's a lot of like sex workers and stuff who you could tell are probably want that openness more.
Yeah.
Also, the way that Jonah communicates these boundaries, he does seem like a little bit insecure. Just in the communication style, it probably could have been like the conversation seemed really cold, although that might be your guys' style. So I can understand people being a little bit peeved with him. But
I have
like,
a question for you, because you said it's insecure. Wouldn't it be fair to say that you're more secure in a relationship by being honest with a girl and telling her what you like and what you don't like and being willing to walk away versus someone that doesn't say anything at all because you're scared of her walking away?
I mean, for me, if you're scared of like the way
I would argue the opposite. I think you're more. Yeah.
This is not okay.
I don't mean to stop you there, but I'm saying
no, I'll do it. Because normally I try to make your audience endearing towards me, but I'll go full blue pill tonight. I don't give a fuck. If you're not worried about what your girl wears when she posts on Instagram and shit, chances are you know that you're not shit, and she's gonna walk away to the next dick that walks in the room. If that's how you feel, and you're like, I need you to fucking burqa up, I need you to take down all these pictures. I can't have you posting bikinis when you go surfing. Like, motherfucker, she's gonna cheat on you. She's gonna walk out anyway. She's gonna feel like you're clingy, selfish, insecure. She's gonna not feel it, and eventually shit's gonna anyway. That's how I feel.
Real quick, real quick, all I'm simply saying is that I think in my take on it is a man is far more secure by telling a woman his boundaries and not caring about the outcome versus not telling her his boundaries and being scared of the outcome. Because if I tell a girl, hey, I don't like this, and she can easily say, fuck you, or you're a narcissist, or put you on blast, or whatever, I would say you're more secure in being honest and direct and telling her what it is versus being scared like most men are and not putting their boundaries forward. I think you're more secure by being honest.
Sure, but I mean, that's not the only two options, right? There's a third option where it's like, here are some boundaries. Like, you can wear shit. If you want to post booty pictures or whatever the fuck, it's your Instagram, go for it. But if you do step over the line, then I'm gonna leave. Like,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah, sure.
That's
but if the line is like, I don't want you to post pictures in bikinis.
That's literally
and it's
what
like that's how we found her on Instagram. I mean, it's like, I mean, what do you expect to happen?
So you think the way that you find her is the way that she can continue to go? You don't think she should change for the man?
She could, but not much. That's why I said earlier, like, you can find each other at 90% and then move a little bit like the next 10%. But if you find a girl whose job is like surfing, modeling clothes, posting pictures of herself with bikinis on Instagram, and you find her and you're like, all right, we're going to church tomorrow, babe. Okay, you're fucked. You're setting yourself up for disaster every single time. Like, go to a church, go to a college, go find a different type of woman because it's probably never going to work with her.
That's wrong.
Why is it wrong?
One time, my biggest time they were trying to cancel me, and I recently did this. Sorry, my bad, nigga. But check this out. Look, man, I'm gonna say it, and this might be like harsh, chat. I mean it. I'm attacking you guys and the four men on this table. If the men on this table do not own every password of the hoe they're with, something went psychically wrong in your chromosomal development. Are you fucking joking me that we have fucking all of Earth watching us and you don't own her passwords? So people called me out on this. My girlfriend, I start tweeting every Zherka shit. I'm fucking logged in right now. I got all her fucking passwords on everything. I got it week 1. When you're a high value male, what's she gonna do? Walk around, turn on? Oh, actually, I don't want Zherka.
How does a high value male have time to go through the social media feed?
No. I only have the Twitter.
This is why you're not streaming. This is why you don't work. It's because you're too busy going through the Instagrams of all the fucking girls you're fucking.
And we'll get to that, but I hired someone to do it, but I only have one. The point I'm trying to make is, if you don't have her passwords, you're a fucking cuck, bitch. You know how easy it is to get the passwords? It's the easiest shit on earth. I was doing it before Red Pill existed, when women weren't this bad in 2016. But dude, it's the fucking easiest thing on earth. And give me the passwords or I'm walking. It's that fucking simple. 40 bitches in his Discord would give him the passwords. He knows it, but he's afraid he's gonna get canceled.
Why am I afraid? What do you mean?
Then ask for Melina's passwords.
I don't give a fuck about Melina's passwords. We fuck other people. Why would I care who she's talking to? How the fuck would I care?
It could be emojis and stuff. And hold on, he attacked me for not working. Yeah, I took a break for a while, but I launched Date IQ on my website, the Zherka Official, and we did 55,000 less than 18 hours.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure with a reoccurring feed, this was a smarter move than fucking doing your 9 to 5 streaming retard shit. And really, you need to generate more passive incomes, bro. Like this whole Reddit.
Oh my god! Did I miss the Money Monday with fucking Zherka? Can I get some investments? Oh my god!
All right, so guys, we're gonna move over to phase 2 here in a second. I'll read these chats that came in, and then we're gonna switch on over here in a minute. So real quick, let's go ahead and do. We got Barty. He goes, John Zherka, the Albania Crusader. Cool. John, Destiny, have you been... thank you, Chris. Destiny, have you seen the new Pearl Harbor? Conspiracy or no conspiracy? Be honest.
All right, we spent 6 hours going over that video. No, I'm sorry. It was a 6-hour video. We spent like 2 days going over that video.
Well, I have a question for you when we get to Rumble.
Okay.
Is it safe for YouTube?
Yeah,
is that Dawson?
No, it's not Dawson. Destiny, I agree with 95% of what you have to say. I don't agree with most of the RP logic, but I grew up hating myself for being a guy. I grew up being told men were inferior. We grew up with women can do anything a man can do, but with heels, these dudes actually gave me some pride. Hey, man, that's what it's about, man. Not being a simp. Anything else here, Chris?
No, we're good.
Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and switch on over to Rumble now, guys. So come on over to Rumble because y'all niggas know why you're here. We got over 50,000 of you guys in here right now between YouTube and Rumble. Yep. So come on over to Rumble right now because I'm going to hit the sound effect. Get ready to rumble!
Let's get ready to rumble!
Oh, you had it ready. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I had it ready. Come on over, guys. Come on over now. All right.
It's time.
All right.
Okay. Listen.
Good start, right?
Oh shit! I think we got a Rumble going on right now. You don't know what time it is, man.
Look who's here.
Come on in, ninjas. Come on in, ninjas.
The leader of the future Catholic theocracy. Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Shout out to the ladies in the back getting everything set up and everything else like that. Getting some chairs for the special guests. If you guys don't know who they are,
And where is Sneako's girl getting hype?
we got Nick Fuentes in the house, Sneako in the fucking house. Welcome, guys, to phase 2 of the podcast. As y'all know, this is
Can I just introduce Nick real quick?
Go right ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead, man.
So this nigga actually made me a Christian because I was like, I can't find a masculine Christian channel. Turning the other cheek is kind of gay right now. He actually said the first clip I ever saw after he wiped the floor with the saw in it, was it Scuff podcast? He said, by the way, that whole Jesus was a hippie, that's a psyop. That's totally fake news. And he said this as a fucking teenager. And then he went into why. And it was a reoccurring loop, a thought in my head for years. I'm like, bro, I wonder how many channels are going to look like his. He's doing great. 0. He's the only one doing Christianity a fucking favor. And on his own fucking website, banned off everything, 7,000 concurrent viewers. He does 50,000 if it's a political cycle. No one in this fucking table could make it on their own fucking website. That's the future president, nigga.
Cozy.tv/Nick, man. Check him out over there, guys.
Glazing.
W Glazing.
Snake me and glaze Nick.
Go park a camel, Muslim.
Yeah. So, guys, I mean, right now, what you guys are seeing is a fucking historic event. We got all these individuals at the same fucking table, in person, live. Literally. Only here at Fresh and Fit, man. So, all the guys, links are below. And here's the other thing, too, I want to say. W Free Speech, W Rumble. Shout out to Nick and Sneako, guys. Go support them on their platforms, rumble.com/Sneako, and then cozy.tv/Nick. And yeah, bro, I'm fucking happy to have these guys. We do the collabs that everyone else is scared to do. So today we're going to be talking about a very special topic.
Yes, very much so.
We're going to cover the JQ, goddammit. And quite frankly, you guys have been waiting for this for a while.
So what is the JQ?
I think the audience already knows what that is.
Yeah, I think they do.
If you don't know, you're an op.
Yeah, you don't know, you're an op. So basically, guys, we're going to cover, American foreign policy. We're going to cover Zionism. We're going to cover all that shit. I think you guys already know what sides we have here, versus Destiny and Nick. So I guess what I'll kick it off with is I'll let you guys kind of make your intro statements, and then from there we can just go. So who wants to go first?
You?
Well, I think it's the person who's in the affirmative.
Hold on,
wait, hold on.
All right, we got you. You're on live now. Go ahead.
Hello?
Nick.
Test,
Yeah.
test.
Yeah, they got your mic now.
Wait, is it? I don't hear him.
I don't hear him either.
Yeah.
That's because he won. Nick won. You're destroyed. You're in the shadow realm. It's over.
Literally.
Five, Mo.
Sicko, you want to go first?
He's on mic.
They got
5.
the call.
Nick, remember who were you debating?
Hey, I can go.
You debated him in the sequel. You're like, my powers have doubled since the last time we met. That was fucking hilarious. Yo, we're the dark side.
We're good. We're good.
Yeah, so opening statements. I mean, I haven't talked about this with Destiny extensively. We've had a lot of debates, but this is like the #1 uncomfortable topic that every single, not even conservative pundit, but everybody is afraid to talk about this. There's always this loomy feeling that you can't discuss this, and they always find ways to avoid it. Even like people that I used to look up to, you look at what they're talking about. Matt Walsh, for example, he made this tweet, and he's supposed to be like the face of anti-trans, right? He did this tweet and he was outlining who created the trans movement, and he tried to pin it on the Nazis. And you look at who he was talking about.
He was Andrew Tate, actually. He'd fuck one.
He was being really clever with it. He was trying to say that his name is Hirschfeld, I think, Magnus Hirschfeld, who created the sex reform back in the 30s, and he was German. And so he tried to make the tweet insinuating that it was Nazis and it was Germans. But you actually look into it, and Hirschfeld was a specific religion, a specific group of people. But he leaves that out for reasons that you can kind of understand when you look at who he works for, when you look at who's in charge, and maybe who told him why he should talk about that. You look at Jordan Peterson and why he avoids that question, why he says that they have a really high IQ and why we shouldn't talk about that.
He says Judeo-Christianity. It's like you got to pick up the sword and fight the dragon. The guy always cries like a fucking homosexual. Jordan Peterson is a psyop, and he never once answered the JQ, but he went live, his first time live, and someone said, hey, answer the JQ, and he knew what it was. So he said, answer the Jewish question. Well, that's a hell of a question. And that commenter came back after the live stream was over, and he typed, it had so many upvotes. This kid's so brilliant. He's probably 16-year-old Nazi. I love this kid. But he wrote this. Why is it a hell of a question? Because you talk about all groups of people. Why is that a hell of a question? Total psyop. Fuck that guy.
Well, all of them they avoided. Alex Jones has like notoriously avoided his whole career. And then you look at why. You look at why Kanye West kind of broke it down by finally being probably the biggest person to ever speak about it. And then Destiny's over here, and he says that this is a crazy conspiracy theorist, like that we're crazy for talking about it. He thinks that it's wild, that they'll say words like you're a Nazi, that you're anti-Semitic. I mean, they've written articles about me. It's part of the reason that I got banned for platforming Nick back on the YouTube days. But then you look at the stuff that Destiny promotes, for example, and you look at his ideology, right? Socialist. You look at who was the biggest Democratic socialist.
What? I'm a socialist?
I mean, you're leftist, and so you kind of like.
Bro, I don't think you know what socialism means. Can you stick to like what's in your dictionary?
He's a market tard. He's literally a capitalist.
Okay, hold on. Let Sneako finish his thing, and then we'll turn it.
Okay, well, leftist ideology. Communism was created by Karl Marx, and the biggest democratic socialist is Bernie Sanders. The right things that transgenderism thing, you think that women could turn into men. That's also created by Magnus Hirschfeld. You look at like everything that you stand for. It's all. If you look at the vaccine, for example, you look at who created that. Who's Peter Hotez is afraid to have a debate with Joe Rogan.
He created the vaccine.
Well, he's been the biggest one shilling it on children.
Oh, okay. Because you said created it, and now you're just saying a guy that promoted it.
Creating it and making it.
I pointed out as a thing for this conversation. These words are always mixed up because nobody has anything of value to say about this topic.
I didn't say created. I said the one that pushing it on the kids. And you look.
You said created, then look at people like Peter.
Sure, I correct myself.
After the Washington Post and all those news agencies and think tanks, they all released an amnesty and apologized about the vaccine. Are you going to apologize for promoting it?
The funniest thing about the vaccine topic, and nobody will admit it, which I predicted 2 years ago, is every single thing that was complained about to be a conspiracy about the vaccine, none of it came true. Vaccine passports aren't permanent. Governments didn't permanently expand.
Talk about injuries.
Governments didn't permanently expand the power. There were not mass deaths. There wasn't a mass forced vaccination program. There weren't mass side effects.
Then why would they say I'm sorry? Why would Washington Post release an amnesty? Why?
Zherka, I don't deal in headlines. If you want to talk about a substantive article, go for it. But I don't care what headline you've read on Twitter.
You don't like headlines?
Which is the extent to what you do for research, right?
Yeah, so let me get this straight. All these guys apologize.
Let Destiny finish this point. And I don't want to spend too much time on the vax because we have the other topic.
Sure, we can go whatever. But I'm just saying the vaccine topic is the perfect topic. Because notice how much the goalposts have moved. When that thing first came out, we were going to turn into magnets. Fucking Bill Gates was going to microchip us into being gay. We were going to get fucking killed. There were going to be mass fucking heart problems. All this shit. None of it came true. None of it came true. All the vaccine passports. Bro, how long have you been fucking roids,
during
bro?
COVID,
Dude, you had a heart issue before COVID even happened. I watch your streams. Why are you trying to lie right in front of me?
No,
I didn't see the video.
I didn't say what about my heart. I said what about my conspiracy that they're going to plunge everyone into debt as all monopolies triple their fucking net worth, and that's what fucking happened. Every mom and pop shop closed. McDonald's tripled their net worth, and you pretending you didn't see any.
Do you need a conspiracy to explain why big business gets bigger and mom and pop shops die?
So
do you not understand anything about the fucking economy? Why do you think a big business is a big
exactly,
business?
That's my point. Isn't it shady to you?
What? No, what's shady about a larger business staying in business and a smaller business going into business? What's the shady part?
Hold on. You want to know what's shady about that? That's just unbelievable.
Go ahead, Nick.
Because the government literally made deals that some businesses could stay open and some were forced to stay closed. That's what's shady about it. Like, for example, they said that Walmart and Walgreens could stay open and small businesses had to shut down.
No, they didn't.
They absolutely
You're just
did.
lying.
Go back and Google it.
I don't need to go back. Okay, yeah,
absolutely.
you can Google at home if you want to.
There's a press conference where Trump goes out there and says that Walmart can stay open. Some businesses were allowed to stay open and some had to stay closed.
What was so that viewers at home could look it up? So what's like a city or state where you're telling me to be? Let's be clear about your claim. There are some states or cities where Walmart was allowed to stay open, but other supermarkets or other stores, not a church, not a recreational gathering.
Okay. Yes, 100%. And if you go and look it up,
so
absolutely. And not only that, but not only that, but also as large as wealth transfer, because They printed $6 trillion, and then they spent $3 trillion. They doubled the money supply in 1 year, and then it was the largest deficit the United States has ever run. Where do you think that money goes? Where do you think that money goes to? The cash transfer in COVID, the $2,500 check or whatever, $1,000 check, I forget what it was. That cash transfer, which I think
immigrant check.
Yeah, right. In spring of 2020, that was a $250 billion part of a $3 trillion spending bill. All that other money went to the airlines. It went to all the big companies that had to be bailed out. And when you talk about quantitative easing,
do you know anything about finance? No company got bailed out. There was the
Are you kidding
There
me?
was the PPP. There was a Paycheck Protection Program, which is where you paid a company that was to compensate them for W-2 wages that were holding employees.
The airlines didn't get bailed out.
People got money to
the
maintain.
airlines didn't get bailed out.
Airlines are one of the least profitable businesses in the entire fucking United States.
So the airlines got bailed out.
Okay, go over.
There you go. Okay, so
there were massive, the largest government programs. The largest government programs. You go, I took a fucking PPP loan. Do you know anything about finance? The PPP loan and a lot of the bailouts you're talking about were available for any company to go in and reach for. Okay, that's the reality. There weren't favorable companies. You're just wrong.
Like the
just like the Walmart and supermarket thing. You're just making shit up. You're just making shit up.
And quantitative easing doesn't benefit the banks and doesn't benefit the biggest corporations. Also,
every single form of monetary policy benefits the wealthy people. That's how it works.
Also,
do you acknowledge that tax cuts benefit the wealthy?
Tax cuts benefit everybody sometimes.
No, hold on.
The QE benefits. I saw you tweeted about the Trump tax cuts.
Then QE benefited everybody,
You want to talk about the Trump tax cuts?
Does more liquidity in a market benefit everybody looking for money?
So you're admitting now that tax cuts benefit everybody.
No, I'm saying that tax cuts disproportionately benefit the wealthy.
Just like the bailouts also benefit everybody. Just like you acknowledge.
Oh, dude.
All right.
I mean, it's just international travel and airlines.
It's like there's a basic.
We went into COVID.
Destiny shifted the goalposts before he even
Nobody's
finished the
shifting
opening.
a goalpost. I don't even know if you can see where the goalposts are. Take your
The
sunglasses
whole
off.
thing was about
I got my
JQ,
work
and
cut
then
out for me
you started
to
talking about airlines.
The only
That's
one who
what
should
you
have been
did.
bailed out was Mohammed Atta. He was a good guy.
All right.
Let's talk about the Jews now.
Real quick. Yeah. So this is what we're gonna do, guys. I'm gonna moderate this thing. I'm not gonna be participating. I'm just gonna moderate. This is mainly between Nick and Destiny. We're going to talk about the JQ, the thing that everyone else is scared of. I think Sneako did a great preamble there talking about everyone is scared to talk about this, but we will talk about it. So I'm going to turn it to Destiny first. What's your stance on the situation, Destiny? And then we can just have Nick go off of that.
Sure. My issue is certain groups of people will act in certain ways, and people will take those behaviors and they'll try to use that in some really weird way to explain every single thing that's going on in the world. Sometimes people, so for instance, they'll say, like, oh, well, these people are disproportionately represented in some area, which for Jewish people, which for all people are true, right? You call a guy for help on your PC, probably going to talk to an Indian more likely than, a Chinese person. Or if you go to a person in the Midwest and ask somebody to roof your house, you're probably going to get a Hispanic person rather than a white person, right? There are definitely people that that tend to move towards certain areas, which happens for a variety of reasons. Where IQ might be one of those reasons for a variety of reasons. But the problem is people will take these trends that they see, and then from there they extrapolate these crazy ideas that somehow every single world government, financial institution, educational institution, private firm are all working for some shadowy group of people, when in reality, every single behavior you see can be explained really simply.
It's not shadowy.
Let Destiny finish his point completely before anyone says anything.
Every single behavior that you see can be explained by ordinary human behavior. You don't need any sort of shadowy people or behind-the-scenes plan to explain any of the stuff that's going on.
Kanye, Mel Gibson, they're just crazy.
All right, I want to respond.
Nick. Yeah, please.
Okay. So I'm glad that you said that. That's the thesis. It's certain people act a certain way sometimes. To suggest that there's any sort of tribal loyalty or anything like that is really, really weird, really crazy. I always love the weasel words. It's always like, because I'll give you my thesis in a second, but I just want to respond to that. It's always like these weasel words, like really weird, really crazy. I'll tell you what's not crazy. Jews have been a diaspora people for 2,000 years. In the last 150 years, they have made an effort to resettle Palestine, which they consider their holy land. They consider their historic homeland. They have, by hook and by crook, in violent ways and through corruption, internationally conspired, in the sense that it's people that have made an agreement to make that happen, to resettle Jews in Palestine. And they did it in some legitimate ways, some illegitimate ways, in Europe, in the Middle East, in America. And in many cases, it was violent. It involved subterfuge. It involved corruption. The idea that that pattern of behavior is happening, it's not really weird. It's not really crazy. You're right. People act in certain ways. People act according to their nationality, tribe, ideas they have. And so my thesis is that Jews in particular have a tribal as well as a religious reason to act the way they do. They're disproportionately represented in many sectors of America. And by the way, they're not jobs. Saying that
banking is a job? Give me a break, right?
Exactly. Well, banking is, but owning all the banks.
Owning a bank is the job.
Owning all the banks is not a job. You may get an Asian programmer, an Asian IT guy, because Asians are good at math disproportionately. That's true. You might get a Mexican landscaper because it's cheap, low-skill labor. The Mexicans are performing. Jews owning all the banks is something that they have inherited over centuries and millennia because of politics and because of religion. And so if we want to talk about how that got to be, I don't think there's anything crazy about that. I think it's actually an interesting and important question because these are the decision makers in the society. It's not just people that are the legislators. We have to talk about the big money people. We got to talk about the media. We got to talk about the people in the bureaucracy. Determining their motivations and who they are is an important attribute of understanding why things are the way they are in America. The Jewish identity explains so much of it. That's the thesis.
Okay. What's your response to that?
What topic do you want to start with?
I mean, that he's saying that it isn't a coincidence that they're involved in.
Sure, it's not a coincidence. Nothing in history is a coincidence. But the question isn't whether it's a coincidence. The question is, remember, the JQ does not just state that Jews happen to be overrepresented in some industries. Now, people like Nick will try to shift that argument. Well, aren't there a lot of Jews there? But that's not the JQ. The JQ says that there is an intentional effort by those people to congregate all of their power and then to use that power to control the levers of society in very particular ways in order to effect positive outcomes for them, oftentimes at the expense of others. That's the JQ.
Okay, let me pose the next question then for you guys. Do you not think that Zionism pushes that?
Zionism does, and we can try to say that like it's just because we're oh god, sorry, I'm not gonna get triggered.
There it is. No, you're fine. You're fine, bro.
We could try to say that like it's because of some weird Jewish blah blah blah. But the reality is, the United States wants an ally in the Middle East. Israel is our best ally that we have in the Middle East. Just like Turkey is a strong ally in the Middle East.
We give them money. That's why.
The idea that we need like a Jewish conspiracy or some Jewish plan to explain that, we don't need one. Just like we don't need a Turkish conspiracy.
Wait.
Just like we don't need a Turkish conspiracy to explain why we're so close to Turkey in the Middle East, despite all the political disagreements that we have with them.
I want to really laser focus in on this. So,
Steven, did you finish your point before he starts?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so Steven, I want to hear what your opinion is on Israel. So if I understand you correctly, you're saying that Israel is America's closest ally because Israel benefits America the most. Is that right?
I'm saying that Israel is a close ally to the United States because there's a benefit for them being an ally in the Middle East. Yes.
What is the benefit?
The benefit is geopolitical. The benefit is that we've got a strong ally in that region of the world. Okay. It helps us deploy military assets. It helps us have bases in these areas. Yeah, sure.
How many bases do we have in Israel?
I don't know how many bases we have.
Okay, really? What do we deploy from Israel?
I don't even know in terms of economy. Nothing. There's absolutely no economic, no beneficial interest whatsoever for Israel being there in the United States.
No Israelis died in the Iraq War. Everything in the big controversy actually for the Muslim world is that Saudi Arabia allowed us to station there and use their airspace, which is like a total.
We're friends with Saudi Arabia too, are we not?
I know. But
is that
we're not
Jewish
arguing about Saudi Arabia.
Wait, why are we friends with Saudi Arabia if the Saudi Arabians and the Jewish people don't get along?
Subject.
That's the point.
If they don't always get along, why are we friends with Saudi Arabia then too?
Hang on. We could talk about Saudi Arabia in a second. I want to talk about Israel. So you said that we're allied with Israel because they provide us a benefit. I said, what's a benefit? You said, well, it's a geostrategic. I said, what does that mean? You said, well, we deploy stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I just said, well, no, actually, they don't do any of that. So I want to stick to the same question. What does Israel do for us specifically?
Specifically, I wouldn't be able to tell what Iraq does for us specifically either. No, I don't know.
So
100%. I don't know.
Okay, well, the answer is nothing. And the answer is nothing. We give them $3.8 billion per year in aid. That's in addition to all kinds of other special provisions. Every other country, because you're right to some extent about the foreign aid. We give a lot of these countries foreign aid, but there's a reciprocal advantage for foreign aid. Like, for example, we give Egypt a lot of foreign aid. You want to know why we give Egypt a lot of foreign aid? They became the second largest recipient of foreign aid after the Camp David Accords in 1978. They were the first nation to sign a peace treaty with Israel. It was only after that they became the number 2 recipient of foreign aid. But one of the benefits that we get from the foreign aid, besides that we brokered a peace deal with Egypt, it was very controversial, very unpopular, is that Egypt buys our military equipment with the money we give them. Israel's the only country in the world that they don't have to spend all the foreign aid money they get on the American defense industry. They can spend it on their own defense industry. Only country that gets that sweetheart deal. In addition, we have a special part of the aid that we give Israel that we give it all in a lump sum at the beginning of the year, as opposed to giving it over the course of the year, we give it to them as a lump sum. And what they do with the money is they actually buy our American Treasury notes so they can make interest. Isn't that beautiful? So we give them the money and they demand this, only one, in a lump sum, and they take the $3.8 billion and they spend a little on their own defense industry. They spend a little on ours, and then they buy our Treasury notes and they make a little interest off the money we give them. The other thing is this. We give it to them as a loan, which is important. If we gave it to them as a grant, we would have to monitor how they spend it. Well, they don't need that kind of scrutiny on what they spend it on, so they accept it as a loan, but we forgive the loan. So there's no scrutiny, but we also don't collect it back. There's also no interest. These are all the kinds of special sweetheart provisions we give them, in addition to them being the #1 recipient. And there's actually no tangible benefit that we derive from them. In fact, it's the opposite. Constantly, we are catching spies, like the Jonathan Pollard affair. In the Trump administration, they got busted for putting listening devices in Washington, D.C.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do we have any military bases in Israel?
You tell me. You just looked it up on your phone.
I did.
See
so
that.
we do have military bases in Israel.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
I
have
see
your
that we have
live
radar
chat going on.
installations in Israel.
Tell me about
Not
the
only
military
that, I
base.
see we have radar installations in Israel that literally help us keep track of what's going on over the skies of Iran. Do you think that provides us a geostrategic advantage? to the
No,
United
because
States?
Iran is not our adversary. Why is Iran our adversary?
Because we had a geostrategic interest in Iraq, and Iraq was for a while an adversary.
We're not in
and Iran
Iraq.
is also an adversary because Iran has international. The IRGC literally does ops all over the United States.
Really?
In fact, hold on.
Wait. The IRGC does ops in the United States?
No, hold on. Against U.S. troops.
Where?
What do you think in Iraq? Why are we in Iraq? Why
are we in Iraq?
Why do you think Donald Trump killed Soleimani?
Why are we in Iraq?
Why do you think Donald Trump killed Soleimani? Who do you think was killing
because
U.S.
Shel
troops?
Nadelson gave him $500 million in 2020.
Okay,
That's why.
Gotcha. It wasn't because
Yes,
there were
gotcha.
attacks all
Absolutely.
over Iraq on U.S. troops that was done
Why
by
were
the
we in Iraq?
IRGC that was ran by Iran's IRGC.
Why were we in Iraq?
It doesn't matter why we're in Iraq. I'm telling you.
Guys. This is what we got to do.
Yeah,
Let
okay,
this Nick get off his things. If you want, Nick, I can give you a piece of paper and whatever. You can write down his questions. That way you can address each one.
Yeah,
so Destiny, ask what you were saying, get into your stuff, and then Nick will respond.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. So to be fair, okay, I do not know every single point of trivia that Anansi memorized about Israel. I don't have all the information. I will look it up when I can, and I read what I can, and I learn what I can, but I don't know every talking point. But I would like to say at the beginning, it kind of seemed like we're relying on the idea that Israel has no military installations for the United States in Israel. That seemed to be the point we're relying on. Well, now it seems like they do. Not only they do, but it seems like it also is one that provides geostrategic interest to the United States because of our operations in the Middle East. Now that you found that out, now you're like, oh, well, why do we care about Iran? I told you why we care about Iran. We care about Iran because the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, that was ran by Soleimani, the guy that Donald Trump assassinated because they killed so many U.S. troops in Iraq, that they have an interest in killing U.S. troops across the Middle East, and they had for a long time. And then you shifted the goalpost from, so the goalpost was, are the military bases in Israel? Okay. Do they provide geostrategic interest? Okay. Well, what's even the interest? Okay. Well, why are we in Iraq? You're going to shift the goalpost over and over and over again. You can shift as much as you want, but Israel does have U.S. military installations, and we also have weapon depots there as well. And there's a reason why we have them. It's geostrategic interest. And there is a reason why they're spying on people that are killing troops in the Middle East. So if you want to keep shifting the goalposts, we can. I don't know if we're going to get to the point where, like, why were Jews persecuted in Rome fucking how many thousand years ago?
Just to clarify, what he said is, what he asked was, how many bases do we have? Didn't answer. Then he said, what benefit does America get from aiding Israel? And then he said nothing. He didn't say anything about the military bases.
Sure. Well, because the answer is to give the impression that we don't get anything from them, because you did say that. He said we get no benefit from them. We just ship a bunch of money over that.
Yeah. Did you finish your point though, Destiny? I want to make sure you get everything off before I turn it to Nick.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, go ahead, Nick.
Okay, so let me dive in here. The reason it's not shifting the goalpost, I asked you specifically, precisely, because you came on here without knowing it, actually. And I want to point that out. You come on here and say, well, it's a weird, crazy conspiracy to suggest that Zionist Jews in America conspire to help Israel. That's weird and crazy. It's not tribal. It's not religious. You said the reason that it's way more boring and way more complex, the Nazis would suggest, it's because they actually provide a benefit. I said, really? What's the benefit? You said, oh, I don't know. So you just claimed that without knowing anything. Then you went on I'mRight.com. Your chat helped you out and said, well, actually, they have a military installation. Here's the reason why it matters why we're in Iraq. You told me the benefit that Israel provides to America is that they help us spy on Iran. Well, it would actually matter then why it's actually a geostrategic necessity for us to spy on Iran. Iran is thousands and thousands of miles away from the United States, as is the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. You said for a moment, you said, well, the IRGC operates internationally in America. And I said, really? And you said, oh, no, I mean, in the Middle East. And then you say, well, why are we in the Middle East? Well, that's not important at all. Actually, it is, because America has no business in Iraq. We had no business in Iraq in 1990. We had no business in Iraq in 2003. We had no business in Iraq in 2011. It matters. Of course it matters. And here's why. My contention, of course, is that we were led to Iraq by Jewish Zionists. Jewish Zionists' number one enemy is Syria. Therefore, their number two enemy was Saddam Hussein. And the reason why is because of their northern border. In the 1980s, Israel invaded Lebanon, and a group called Hezbollah pushed them out. The history goes way, 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 way back. But basically, they are mortal enemies with the al-Assad family, with Hafez and Bashar al-Assad, and with Hezbollah, with Lebanon and Syria. It's about securing their northern border. In any case, they have said continuously over the last 40 years that their number one adversary they got to take out, the road to Damascus runs through Baghdad. They have to take out Iraq to take out Syria. So my contention is that we went to war with Iraq basically for the benefit of Syria. It follows, therefore.
Wait, can you explain that?
Let me finish. It's very quick. It's very quick.
Oh, fuck.
It's super
we'll give you a
quick.
chance to.
And then you can reply. It follows then that if we're at war in Iraq because Jews pushed us into that war to benefit Israel, it's actually not a geostrategic benefit for us to be able to surveil Iran or to kill the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, because the only reason the IRGC can kill our troops in Iraq is because we're in Iraq for Israel. So that's actually just a roundabout way of saying, well, they benefit us so that we can benefit them. They benefit us so we can kill their enemies when we're fighting their enemies in Iraq for them. It does us no good. We would have no beef with Iran besides the hostage situation from 40 years ago. But other than that, we'd have no beef with Iran, Iraq, or Syria if it wasn't for our support for Israel.
Okay.
The problem is that I want to do a back and forth where I ask him a question, but if he rambles on like 40 minutes of bullshit history every time I ask him a question, it kind of
it's a book context. So
sure.
That people
so I'm
understand.
curious, like when you say that the Israel is the one that dragged us into Iraq, can you elaborate that?
I can, yeah, very clearly. In 1996, they published a memo called the Clean Break Memo. Maybe you've heard of it. It's Douglas Pearl, David Feith, David Wormser. These guys all went into the Bush administration and created the Office of Special Plans in the Defense Office in the Department of Defense, which concocted this excuse for war in Iraq, this fabricated evidence about WMDs, this connection with the poisoning, and so on. And what they said, exactly, the anthrax. In the Clean Break Memo in 1996, all these, by the way, these guys are all Jewish Zionists. They all said it's about securing the realm of Israel, securing the northern border. We have to take out Saddam. We have to take out Syria. We have to take out Iran.
Why didn't we go to war with Syria or Iran then?
Oh, that's a great question. They tried to get us to war in Syria, if you remember. They fomented a Syrian civil war with ISIS, which was supported by both Israel and the United States.
Hold on. That's like 15 years later.
Yeah, because that was the plan. First Iraq, then Syria, then Iran.
Wait, so did we go to the first Gulf War and the second Gulf War because of Jews, or just the second one?
Both. Okay. Absolutely.
So
we went
the gassing of the Kurds and any of that, none of that mattered?
No, that's all ridiculous.
In Kuwait, that's all bullshit.
Well, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
In 1998, all these same guys, Wolfowitz and Abrams and all of them, Cohen, they all wrote a letter to Bill Clinton in 1998 before State of the Union and said, you got to address taking out Saddam. So they were talking about taking out Saddam for like 20 years. Then 9/11 happens and they go, oh, Saddam did 9/11. Oh, Saddam has WMDs. Let's go in. Yeah, it's all excuses, Destiny.
Why didn't they just depose him after the first Gulf War then?
Are you so naive to think that like gassing the Kurds is the reason we went in? Do you really believe that?
I more so than 4 Jewish guys drafted up a plan to get us into an arbitrary war in the Middle East so we could defend Israel.
It's more about bullshit humanitarian nonsense than it is about like spies, money, warfare, and like that's really the crux of it. Is you have this naive worldview, like, well, the government said they're gassing the Kurds, yeah, just like Assad was gassing his own people, and it was fucking fake, and it was all white helmets with the UN down there, and it was the rebels using chemical attacks. No, there isn't, and they should go and investigate that.
Absolutely no evidence.
There isn't evidence.
There's not a single international community in the fucking world that would back up the claim.
There isn't evidence.
Okay, let me ask this. Let me ask this. So are you okay? So Destiny, just so I can make sure I get your stance correct here, are you saying that we went to war with Iraq because of the gassing of the Kurds?
I think that, yeah, I think in the invasion of Kuwait, I think it was a really big deal for internationally why we felt like we had to step in and intervene
with the Kurds being killed.
Yeah, and then the chemical weapons on the Kurds.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so Saddam killing the Kurds in the northern part of Iraq is okay. What's your response to that?
We don't care about any of that. I guess.
I think that's ridiculous. I think
it's way more likely that 4 Jews somehow.
Well, let me ask this, Nick. Would you?
But not enough to depose Saddam, just enough to invade and leave him.
Let me finish.
Let's connect it. Would you say, Nick? Would you say that the gassing of the Kurds was a contributing factor, or you're saying it's not at all?
No, I don't think so at all. And here's why.
All right.
I think
so you don't think whatsoever it's not relevant whatsoever to the situation?
I think that is how they dress it up. I think that is basically United States foreign policy, is that we come up with pretexts and excuses to do what we want to do anyway. Like, for example, and I'm not trying to just zoom out here, but I am trying to give examples.
You don't think that mattered either, right?
What here's the big picture, Destiny, which is I think what you're missing.
Okay.
Is that we give a lot of excuses. We said there were WMDs in Iraq. That's why we went to Iraq.
Second Gulf
There
War.
weren't any.
You're mixing the first and second one
No,
up.
no, I'm giving additional examples.
Well, why not just focus on the first Gulf War?
And here's
instead of
because
talking
you're
about
missing.
a lot of
Here's
random
why.
shit.
Because now you're interrupting, trying to derail.
Because
it's
you
not
like to
working, you're
conflate a
running
whole bunch of
interference.
shit together
No,
because
I'm
you don't
making
have
a
an
point.
answer,
No,
yeah.
because you're very naive and you think that the news media is telling you the truth about
Just
a very
explain
big
then. Why did
business,
we do the first Gulf War?
which is war.
Okay, let him give his examples,
Thank
and then
you.
can you please address the Gulf War for him?
Absolutely.
Yeah, give your examples, because he's just giving examples of why the United States lies to get in certain
Because he
situations.
doesn't have the answer to the first question,
No,
so he's going to
he'll-
obfuscate with
no,
stuff
he's
later.
gonna answer the.
Look at this.
It
Is
won't do it, but yeah,
crazy.
go for it. That's fine.
Look, he's getting nervous.
I know it is.
He's getting
strategy.
nervous because he doesn't know anything about foreign policy, so he doesn't want to talk
so this
about
will
it.
do.
Because the
This
four
will do.
Jews
Nick-
made the plan in '96 that got us to invade Iraq like 10
Please,
years later.
guys,
Listen to my guys.
Nick, so please cover your examples of how the United States does this to do things, and then please cover his first Gulf War, because that's what he's interested in.
100%.
All right.
So I'm making a bigger point about United States foreign policy, which is that we conduct regime change operations. We go to war all the time. There's always a pretext, whether it's a gassing of the Kurds or it's what happened in Kuwait. The same is true of Iraq with WMDs. The same is true of Libya. We deposed Gaddafi in Libya, they said, because, it's not like democratic enough. Does anybody really believe?
That's not even true.
Hey, whoa. Does anybody really believe that we go to war with a NATO coalition and we deposed Gaddafi because the elections weren't free and fair? And the same thing is true of Syria. Constantly
Why did
trying to
China
create.
abstain?
Whoa, why are you interrupting
It's
me
like-
all the
it's
time?
just
Is it because you're
fuck
not
me,
confident in your positions? You
No,
have
it's
to derail?
because every time you answer a question, you make up
How about
50
this?
bullshit
How about
points.
this?
You bring up the deposition of Gaddafi.
Everyone is acting like a nigger. Stop.
Destiny, just let him finish his examples, and then please address the first Gulf War for him.
Yes,
so
exactly.
You're giving your examples of America getting involved in foreign policy.
Remember, every answer relies on 30 random talking points. So
It's not random talking points. It's about because it's about your worldview. Your worldview is predicated, and I've seen your stream. I watch your stream. You always hand wave away all these
Still not the
Jews
first Gulf
in the
War.
Defense Department. You hand wave away all the Jewish disproportionate stuff by saying that things are as they seem. There are people in the world, they act a certain way, but it can't be explained by a conspiracy. That's what I'm taught. That's why it matters to go through these examples, because you're going out there and saying, well, Israel benefits us because geostrategic. Well, what does that mean? Oh, I have no fucking idea. Well, we went to war in Kuwait because of the Kurds. Can you tell me why we went to war?
Hold on, Nick. Give your examples, then the first Gulf War, and then you can ask him a question after.
I already gave my examples.
Okay. Then what about the first Gulf War then?
Libya, Ukraine, all these different interventions. They're always a
None of these
pretext.
things are remotely similar to each other.
If I laugh, it looks like I'm not losing. If I laugh, it looks like I don't have a
well, let me
completely
name off
naive
15
worldview.
random facts, and I'm not going to
Spies
fact check
and
on
money
anything what they're talking
are
about.
real.
The
It's
Libyan invasion
so
completely
guys,
USA.
guys, the Defense Department.
Guys,
Yeah,
please.
it's about Kurds.
Let's keep this civil.
Yeah.
Okay, because he asked a question about the first Gulf War. Why did we go? Is that your question? Why did we go into war with the first
Yeah,
Gulf
I'm
War?
just curious how Jews are concocting every single fucking thing. And then also keep in mind
Not
too,
everything.
the only evidence of any of the fact that like the Jews are behind this is because some people that are Jewish are involved in writing some of the plans.
Well, explain Kanye. Explain JP Morgan and Kanye. Let's go to the good stuff.
That is
Let's go.
always
Fuck
going
the
to
Gulf
be.
War. Let's go to Kanye.
Well,
In the totality of this conversation, the strongest evidence that Nick will ever offer for his position is some of the people involved are Jewish.
Okay, so let's hit the first Gulf War, because he's asking why did we get involved in the first Gulf War?
We got involved in the first Gulf War for the same reason we got involved in the Iraq War. It's because the Jews had a problem with Saddam Hussein. The Zionists had a problem with Saddam Hussein. It's the same situation. And here's why I bring up the letter to Bill Clinton 98. It's because once again, we can take the explanation that we were given by the news media that Israel are our closest ally because they help us. Went to war in Iraq because WMDs, I don't know, we were fooled. We went to war in the Gulf War because of the Kurds. What I'm trying to say is that was already the policy. They were agitating for war for a long time. The neocons were agitating for war for a long time.
Can you tell me, how did we make Saddam Hussein invade Kuwait and then use gas weapons against the Kurdish people?
We didn't make them do that. That's the pretext.
How are we
That's the
agitating
excuse.
for it?
That's the excuse.
Yeah, can you tell me how we were agitating for it?
No. I'm not saying they
I know you
agitated
would.
for that.
Okay.
What are we agitating for? I'm sorry. What are you saying?
I'm trying to figure out how the Jews made us go. I'm trying to figure out how did the Jews make Saddam
You are
Hussein.
trying to figure it out.
I am. I'm asking you.
You are desperately trying to figure it out.
How did the Jews make Saddam Hussein invade Kuwait, and use
You're
chemical
not following,
weapons.
though. I'm not
that's what I'm
saying-
asking you.
You're
Tell
not
me
following.
simply.
Yeah, no. but
Without
you're
talking
playing
about
dumb. You're playing
Benghazi,
dumb.
without
You're playing
talking
dumb
about
because you're
China,
disingenuous.
without talking about Ukraine.
Without talking about other examples of American foreign policy
It's
to
always
establish a concrete
obfuscation and
worldview.
dialogue trees.
And
That's
it's
the
always
only thing that it
derailing.
is.
It's always derailing and sophistry
dude.
from you
I
because you
think
have no
it's
idea what you're
obvious.
talking about. You have no idea what you're talking
Destiny,
about.
ask your question, and then he'll answer it.
How did the Jews make us invade in the first Gulf War?
But see, that's a totally incorrect. It's so funny.
You're so
It's so
triggered.
funny.
I see the trigger in you.
I'm not triggered, but that's
You're
just what
very
you
triggered.
do. When you
It
lose
is.
a
It's very
debate,
funny to me
when
that
you lose a debate,
this is like
you
your
do this.
specialty area of
Hang on,
interest.
you do
I
this
don't know fucking
contemptuous.
half the shit you're talking about, and you don't have an answer for me.
It's just like the
Because
weasel
you
words
rely
at
on
the
somebody
beginning.
having no understanding of anything
It's
you're
just
talking
like the
about,
weasel
and you're
words
just
at
say
the
random
beginning.
fucking shit to win the argument.
It's so weird.
ahead.
It's so crazy.
Okay. The question is, how did? Say it one more time. What was it?
He brings up like
it's a
5 different
false premise.
conflicts.
It's a false
Destiny, please
premise.
ask the
It's a
question.
false
Charles,
premise.
I'll
Here
ask
was the
one more
question.
please.
He
so
said,
that we don't derail,
he
guys.
said, how did the Jews make
make a-
Saddam Hussein do these things?
Yes,
I
there you
never
go.
said the Jews made Saddam Hussein do those things. Were you listening?
Oh, so Saddam Hussein chose to invade Kuwait
Uh-huh.
and gas the Kurdish people.
I don't know that he gassed the Kurdish people, by the way.
Oh,
I don't know
we
if I
just
believe
don't
Wasn't
think
that.
it
that
6
happened?
million?
Let's say they did, though. As I said before, that's the pretext, Destiny. Countries do bad things all the time.
Were there other countries that were
Let me
using
ask you
chemical
this.
weapons on
Were
their
there-
own citizens in the Middle East that we had no interest in? Wasn't that one of the reasons why we went after Gaddafi? Was claims of torturing people, locking them up in prisons?
No, we said.
Why is it that
the
we went
reason
to
why
invade?
is
Why
it
is
was
it that we went to
following-
invade?
wait,
Why
tell
is it that
me,
we
tell
went to
me.
when we went to depose Gaddafi? Why is it that even China abstained from voting against U.S. involvement in that? Because they knew that Gaddafi was a fucked up person, and they knew that that country was being ran in
please,
fucked
yeah.
up ways.
China's not ran by fucked up people, and there's no other fucked up
I'm just
countries in
saying,
the world.
China
Let
had
me
the
ask you
ability
this,
to enter
Destiny.
and everybody
Let
say,
me
don't
ask you
do it.
this.
There's
Let me
a
ask you
reason
this.
why they abstained.
Let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
So we went into Libya, we went into Iraq because it's fucked up guys doing fucked up stuff. Are
We
there
changed
any,
from the first Gulf
are
War.
there
Note
any
that.
leaders?
Go
Are there any leaders doing fucked up stuff in Africa and Latin America?
I think that generally the United States
Yes or
has,
no? Yes or no?
Yeah, they're probably, yeah, of course. I'm pretty
Okay,
sure there's
so
like 6 ongoing genocides.
where are the ground wars in Africa and Latin
No
America?
geostrategic interest, and I don't know if there
Okay,
are. I don't know if
now
there
back
are
to the original
democracies
point.
there. I don't know if there are democracies
Back to the
that we
original
feel like
point.
are worth
What was the
supporting.
geostrategic interest in toppling Saddam Hussein in 2003?
That entire area, because of its location near Russia, I believe, is of interest to the United
Because
States.
of it, so we invaded Iraq because of its location
I
near
didn't say
Russia.
we invaded. I didn't say we invaded Iraq.
See, this is why.
Oh,
he has
I'm not
to
gonna. You don't want to
obfuscate.
answer the question?
This
There's
is
a
why
reason
he
why
has
he doesn't
to
want me to
Let him
answer.
answer, Nick, please.
Oh,
Okay.
now there's no interruptions.
No,
Okay,
let him answer.
Yeah,
And
let's
then-
hear
and
it
then
about
Destiny.
Russia.
The
Answer,
reason
and then-
why
and
we
then you can
Go
invaded-
rebut it.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's
The
go.
reason why
Let
we
him-
invaded
let him
Iraq.
rebut it, and then you can answer.
The reason why we invaded Iraq is because Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait with shitty pretext and used chemical warfare against the people of Kurdistan, the Kurds living in the north of Iraq. The reason why we have an interest in Iraq is because of the location on the globe. So if you want to tell me why we're interested in Iraq, I can tell you that. If you want to tell me why we invaded, I can tell you that. Those are the two separate answers to that. Where were the Jews involved?
Uh-oh.
Well, wait.
Now
so
let him
wanna,
respond.
I want to follow on this a little bit. So you said, well, we invaded Iraq and Libya because even China realized that Gaddafi was a shitty guy. This is like Reddit talk. Gaddafi was a total
Where did the first Gulf
fucking
War go?
asshole.
Note that he moved
Gaddafi
again.
was a total freaking asshole. That's why we invaded. And I
Locked
said,
people up,
okay,
tortured
hang
them,
on,
get-
whoa,
yeah.
interruptions. Can we get a
Okay,
check
yeah.
on that?
Oh, the left.
Hit the Gaddafi thing, and
Okay.
then please answer his question about the Iraq.
So I said, well, what about all the shitty people in Africa? What about all the shitty people in Latin America, terrorist groups? And he said, well, so really it's not about their shitty people. It's because they're shitty people and it was geostrategically important. I said, what's a geostrategic benefit? It's near Russia. Really? So let me get this straight. If we invaded Iraq and the geostrategic benefit is that it was near Russia, which look at a fucking map, why wouldn't we just go into Armenia, Azerbaijan, Georgia? Why wouldn't we go into Ukraine? Why wouldn't we accelerate Ukraine's membership in NATO? This is in 2003. Why would we make Ukraine a NATO member in 2003 when Putin had been in office for 3 years? Why invade Iraq if that was the
First of all-
geostrategic benefit?
Sure.
Let's hear it.
First of all, we've already drafted nations that are literally bordering Russia into NATO. That's what we did with the Baltics, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania.
yep.
So we've already done that. In terms of reaching into countries that are more northern and eastern, or from Iraq, my guess is going to be because we don't have any connection or reasonable way to support those countries. We just don't have
what does that mean? We have no reasonable way to
As in
support
the
what
geographic
country?
locations of places like Turkey and Israel make them easier for long distance support rather than
Really?
places like Armenia, Azerbaijan.
So where's
Georgia.
Azerbaijan on a map? Do you know?
Northeast of Iraq?
It's east of Turkey.
Yes.
So it's right there. It's right there with Armenia. It's right there with Turkey. It's right there with Georgia. Georgia and Turkey are allies. Why won't we just go for Azerbaijan?
Georgia already had Russian troops in the country.
And we couldn't have gone in there and repelled that
and
in 2008?
Russian troops on the Russian border? No, I don't think we would do that.
That's what we're doing right now, dipshit. That's what we're doing right now. And it's 20 years later.
I'm sorry.
Russia's got an arms buildup.
The United States does not have military troops in Ukraine.
Yes, they do. Wow.
No, they don't.
So naive.
No, they don't.
Yes, we do.
Then why isn't Russia screaming it from the rooftops? If we had military notice how we pivoted away from the first Gulf War.
That is incredible. Amazing naivete on display right here.
Okay, we because I see what's going on here. Basically, we're answering one question by bringing up examples, and those examples basically create a whole other conversation. So
well, no, they shouldn't, but it's because he can't answer that.
Well,
the point is to bring up. If I can bring up 10 different conflicts and say the Jews,
keep looking at your chat.
If I can bring up 10 different things and I say the Jews, and then I push on any one of those, and it's like,
to be fair, hold on. To be fair, both of you guys have done it. So, did you get to answer the first Gulf War thing? You
he doesn't have an answer.
We already went over.
He has no answer. We didn't go over.
No, we did. I said it was pretextual. That's the answer.
Every war is pretextual.
Oh, finally, an admission. I agree. You're right.
There's a reason for every war. They're not random.
Thank you.
The pretext was them invading Kuwait and using chemical warfare against the Kurdish people.
False pretext.
Oh, so that didn't happen. They didn't invade Kuwait. They didn't gas the Kurds.
Are you both comfortable with leaving the Gulf War and going to Kanye?
No,
hold on.
I want to continue with the Iraq War.
Yeah, now, because he did ask. Because the two reasons you gave for Iraq was,
I can tell you, there's a general reason the United States will support countries that are of geostrategic interest. That usually means next to important travel ways for trade.
Of course.
It could mean geographic location in relation to China or Russia.
Yes.
And then there's a third reason: places that have somewhat tenable democracies.
Yeah.
Like that's an important thing. That's why we don't intervene so much in African countries, because we're worried that if we start shipping in a ton of weapons, shit will get fucked. In Iraq, we abandoned that strategy.
Hold on, guys,
and that was one of the
please.
reasons why the post-Iraq war, the second Gulf War, was such an unbelievable fucking shit show, because we invaded the country, we dismantled the government, and we realized that was fucked, so we tried to build another government, and that was even more fucked, and arguably a lot of what we ended up shipping to Iraq went straight to fucking ISIS.
So
that was one of the bad things about that was like the bad thing about Iraq.
Let me ask
and
you this,
Afghanistan as well. Yes.
Let me ask you this, just so Nick can properly respond to the Iraq war.
Sure.
Are you saying that Israeli involvement had nothing to do with us going into Iraq?
That
Israeli involvement.
I'm sure that people from Israel were probably happy we did it. I'm sure there are Jewish people in the United States that are probably happy we did it. But I don't think the Jews made it happen. Like, I think if you delete Israel and you delete Jewish people, God willing for Nick, from the world, we're still probably going to
so
Iraq.
You think we would have invaded regardless of Israel?
Regardless of any Jewish influence.
Okay, what's your response to that? He's saying Israel pretty much played no part in it.
Okay, well, I mean, I was about to respond to a lot of this. I would say in the first place, he said, well, we don't go into Africa because they can't build a democracy.
Okay.
As if Iraqis are any more democratic than fucking Africans. That's number one. Number two, he said, well, we wouldn't go to war in Africa because the weapons would just go everywhere. As though that's not exactly what's been happening in the Middle East for 40 years. That was happening before we even arrived. There was happening with the Soviets against the Mujahideen in 1979. It's been going on. So both of those are two arguments that are just crap.
Okay.
Like,
you disagree. Okay.
And so,
and then what about the Iraq? Yeah.
And then about
Iraq
Jews
part.
in Iraq. He says, well, maybe there were Israelis that supported it. No. There were very powerful Zionist Jews that supported it. It was a number 2 in the DOD. It was a number 3 in the DOD. It had a Near East policy in the National Security Council. These are the guys that put together. And by the way, it's not like I'm just listing people that were in the government. They specifically created. No, I'm about to answer that. They specifically created the Office of Special Plans. The Office of Special Plans is where all this phony intelligence about WMDs from Iraq was coming from. It was.
It was not.
The
OSP was also requested by Cheney and Bush.
You
because
can
they
go
didn't
and
like
look it up.
I have looked it up.
Let him finish his point, and then you can go ahead and say it was phony. Let him just finish his point about the Office of Special.
So they contradicted the CIA. They contradicted American intelligence. They had Mossad people going in between all day long. Not only that, but these are all guys. I don't know how people can just pass this off as a coincidence. All these guys that I'm talking about in the government were 10 years prior writing a clean break memo that was literally commissioned by the Prime Minister of Israel. The Prime Minister of Israel said, hey, guys, go write a memo about our foreign policy. And the foreign policy playbook they wrote was this: first Iraq, then Syria, then Iran. Then these guys all get in the Bush White House, and that's, go figure, exactly what they pushed for. On September 20th, 9 days after 9/11, 40 prominent neocons at the Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, New York Times wrote a letter to George Bush and said, if you don't support a war against Hezbollah, against Iraq, against Syria, then we're going to say you're an ally of the terrorists. You're a cuck in the war on terrorism. Those guys were all Jewish Zionists, by the way. All these neocons, they're the most prominent conservatives. At the same time, that same week, they're drafting plans for war against Iraq. We didn't even know who did it. And when we found out, it was people that trained in Afghanistan, funded by Saudis, connected to Pakistanis. Why are they talking about going to war against Hezbollah, which is in Lebanon? Why are they talking about going to war in Syria? Syria helped us in the war on terror. Why are they talking about going to Iran? It makes no sense. Other than that, this is the fucking playbook that they wrote, commissioned by Netanyahu. It's not crazy. It's not weird. That's just the facts.
All right. So again, every single argument relies on this. There are some Jewish people that said this, therefore that's the plan. There's a reason why you won't answer specifically anything related to the first or even the second Gulf War, and then you restate some of my points, you make them your own, and then you just keep harping this idea that the Jews, the Jews, the Jews. The Office of Special Plans was created because Cheney and Bush wanted to take unvetted intel because they really wanted to go to Iraq and fight a war there, and they didn't like the information they were getting from the CIA or the FBI, which is interesting because if U.S. intelligence is so corrupted, why the fuck would you even need to create the Office of Special Plans? If the Mossad and the Jews and all these people have so much influence throughout every single hierarchy of the United States government, can you tell me why the OSP was even created? Why couldn't they just fake intel from the CIA?
Because their positions were in the DOD. I mean, you're telling me, wait a minute, they didn't have any clout. They just created an office within the Defense Department, the number 2 and 3 in the fucking Pentagon.
Yeah, why did they have, what I'm asking you, I'll repeat the question, because you won't have an answer.
They used what they had.
This is how they used what they had? They literally created a new office.
Why didn't they do it in the CIA when they did it in the DOD?
When we talk about conspiracies, they're always all-powerful, but then they're also super cocked at the same time. If these guys have so much influence in government, so powerful, why the fuck would they create a whole separate office? Why wouldn't they just take shit from the CIA?
Okay, he's saying. Okay, I see what he's saying.
Let me summarize real quick for the viewers that don't understand. Okay,
so
there probably was no good reason to think that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Okay, and the actual intel in the United States that was doing research at the time was reporting as much to the White House. Chances are
WMDs.
No. However, Bush and Cheney had a separate office created, the Office of Special Plans, and what they did was they took unverified, unvetted intel and they shot that up right to the White House and they said, hey, look at this report. Hey, look at this report. Maybe there's something there. But intel is a messy business. There's a lot of verifications we have to do, right? And as a result of some of that unverified bullshit intel, they used that as a pretext for weapons of mass destruction. They went to Iraq. We just put Saddam Hussein. Probably a really bad way to start that war. But the problem is, and again, this is my biggest issue with these types of all-encompassing conspiracies that run every part of the world, is that they're so fucking powerful. Why would they create a whole cuck separate institution that retards on fucking YouTube and cozy.tv can research? Why wouldn't they have just faked intel through the CIA?
Okay. So you're saying why create this entire other entity?
Like, how suspicious are you? Where it's like, we're going to create the Office of Jewish Plans. I mean, I'm sorry, the Office of Special Plans, not the Jewish one. And then we're going to use that to go. Why not just go through the CIA?
Okay.
This is so.
Okay, that's fine.
Hang on.
I see this question. This question is, why create an entire another branch of U.S. government to create a narrative to go into Iraq when we could have just faked intel from the CIA in the first place? I see what you're going.
That's so funny to me. I mean, because first of all,
He won't answer that, by the way. Go ahead.
Okay, is that interruption going to be clocked?
He's going to answer. He's saying, why create another agency?
He's going to ramble. He's not going to answer.
Come up with information.
There it is again. There it is again. See, they don't want me to talk.
The blue blinker, need to chill. Everyone chill. Go.
So let me jump in. I love this argument because first it was like, well, it's really weird and crazy and blah, blah, blah. Then it turns into, well, why would the Zionist Jews that wrote the memo and work in the DOD in the number 2 and 3 positions, why would they create an office to funnel in unvetted intelligence from Mossad instead of doing it in the CIA? I don't know, because they were in the DOD, they were in the Pentagon. I mean, it's like presupposing the whole premise, which is that so let me get this straight. You're conceding that there are Zionist Jews that wrote the clean break memo working in the Pentagon. They were funneling unvetted intelligence given to them, and this is reported by witnesses, from the Mossad to, which is Israeli intelligence. You probably don't know that because you're ignorant.
Geostrategic interest of the Middle East. Israeli intelligence. Thanks for
another interruption. So you're admitting you have Zionist Jews who wrote the memo in the Pentagon and in the State Department, in the DOD. They're funneling unvetted intelligence from foreign intelligence agencies into the government, and that was part of the war in Iraq. Is that all what you're saying? You're admitting that?
Yeah, you restated my whole answer. Let's see if you'll answer my question now. Go ahead.
Well, so then I don't think there's any disagreement. I mean, if he's going to sit there and say that's but he's wrong because he's saying there's they control everything and everyone. No one ever said that. My thesis at the beginning is that you have these Zionist Jews in these positions. They have leveled up. In some cases, they have been helped by foreign intelligence to get there, and they use their influence and power to help the state of Israel, which is basically what you're conceding. I never once said they control everything. Anybody will tell you that there are divisions, the CIA, FBI, NSA, State Department, DOD. There is factionalism within all these groups, and some are more infiltrated than others. So nobody said, well, they control the whole government. If I can prove they only control the DOD, then therefore I win. And we agree. You're right. Zionist Jews in the DOD did give intelligence from the Mossad to Bush to bring us to war in Iraq. We agree.
Why do they need to create a separate office for it?
Because they needed to bypass the CIA.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they have just gone to the White House themselves?
There's rules and regulations they got to follow. That department doesn't have to.
There's rules and regulations for going to war in Iraq by creating a separate office.
This is a mechanism that they did.
Yeah.
Why would they create that then?
I just don't know why you wouldn't just pass it up through the CIA.
That's what they didn't pass it up through the CIA. They passed it up through they created this office special plans.
They created the
reported to the NSC.
Just to be clear,
here's a summary. Basically, what he's saying is that the CIA was not compromised with Zionist interests to the same degree that the DOD was, so they did it through the DOD.
Exactly.
Is that the answer?
Pretty much.
That's the answer.
Pretty much.
So the CIA was not, because they're different agencies.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that.
Yeah.
But like the idea that Jewish Zionists have the levers on our financial system, on I guess the DOD and the Pentagon, but our
now we're
intelligence
talking about
agencies.
the financial system.
Okay.
Well, no. These are your words. You're saying that Jews run everything. You can look at me. It's okay. Don't be nervous.
The topic was Iraq.
It was, but you never gave me the
I
answer. So now we're kind of
threw a funny part in to distract from the fact you're losing. Go ahead, look at me. Don't be nervous.
Okay.
You're the one
I
that's
see you
losing.
staring off into the corner. You're having like a little autism attack.
It's
okay.
amusing.
Do you have any
I'm
Adderall
just
for this
amused
guy
that
over
you
here?
said
He's
they
like,
were
he's
in
getting a little
Iraq.
bit worried.
Let me just, besides the insults,
No.
let me
I'm just saying that like it's frustrating because it reminds me of arguing with my mom, right? Where she says the elections are rigged. Well, how did Trump win in 2016? Well, enough good people showed up that day. Like
now
it's always rigged until it's not. I don't know how, if we get so much Israeli intelligence, it's so corrupt. Why couldn't Israelis just passed on fake intelligence through the CIA and gotten us to go to war with Iraq that way?
I think his answer was basically that
his answer was that we can't do it that way. Yeah, we weren't compromised that way.
The CIA to the degree where it can go up, where we can go into war, but we were compromised at the DOD level, so they did it through the chain of the DOD.
Gotcha.
Steven has a better strategy, though.
Let's say that I buy, which is ridiculous.
I'm just summarizing what Nick said.
I understand. Let's say that I buy all of that, which is already too much, and it's hilarious.
All right.
Why is it that they created their own little office of Jewish plans? They got us to go to Iraq. Why the fuck didn't they get us to get rid of Saddam Hussein? Why did we keep him there?
They did.
What do you mean? We kept him there.
We got him in 2003.
Why didn't we get him in the first Gulf War?
The fact is, we got him.
Whoa, shit!
What's funny about that?
Why didn't we get him in the first Gulf War?
We got him.
Did they need a second office?
They needed a 9/11.
Oh, okay.
Boom. So there's no answer. So is
No,
so,
he does.
No. Hold on. So
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Because also, by the way, the best answer, the best reason for why we should have gotten rid of Saddam Hussein after 9/11 was because of the first Gulf War. So if we would have deposed him after Gulf War I, I don't think anybody would have even cared, right?
So,
the motherfucker used chemical warfare against the Kurdish
So the
people
argument
and
is,
invaded
well,
Kuwait,
why
which
did
is
they
to
do
this
it for the
day,
CIA?
which is to this day, like one of
Okay.
the most U.S. loyalist fucking countries on the planet because we saved them when Saddam Hussein invaded. So my question is, if the Jewish people, I'm laying it all out, okay? The Jewish people have so much influence in the DOD, they create a special office because Israel really wants us to go to war with Iraq to get rid of Saddam Hussein.
Okay.
They managed to do all of that successfully, and they get the most powerful nation in the history of the world to go to war with another nation that doesn't even border Israel to depose Saddam Hussein, but we don't even get rid of Saddam Hussein. What the fuck?
Well, hold on.
doesn't even border Israel. Wow. What a
When
lack
was
of
the Office of
understanding.
Special Operations created again?
I think it was 2003.
So it was created after 9/11. I think that's what he's trying to say. Is like they needed the 9/11. That's why they created the office, and then that allowed them to circumvent CIA
But hang on,
intelligence.
but Myra,
Sure, but
let
I'm
me
saying
argue.
if
Hang on,
for the
this
first
guy-
Gulf War,
This guy can ramble and interrupt.
bro,
I
you
get
rambled so much.
No.
There it is.
Nick,
go ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
Jesus is king. Go, Nick.
So
I was just
let me-
summarizing what he was saying.
That's
so.
amazing. And I can argue here.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
it's amazing that the argument started out with crazy, weird. They think Jews run everything to like, well, why didn't the Jews take out Saddam Hussein the first time? Why didn't the Jews do it this way instead of this other way? Will you engage with the fact that these people wrote the clean break memo for a foreign government and then were in the most important national security positions 7 years later? Will you engage with that at all?
Yeah,
Will you address
but
that?
the problem is you haven't established anything other than the fact that these guys
engage
were
with that.
Jewish. I'm engaged
Tell
with
me
it.
what you
Sure,
think about that.
Yeah, they might have been Jewish. They might have been like
they
Israel.
were. No,
Sure,
they
sure,
were.
Sure.
Don't say they might have been. That's a weasel
They were
word.
Jewish. They probably supported the nation of Israel. Okay.
No. They don't. Hang on. Let me tell you the facts.
Nick, I don't care unless you can
Why don't
show
you
me
care?
Because you have to show me a
Why don't you
connection.
care?
It's not enough to say
They're
let me show
Destiny, he's getting there. He's getting there.
He's not going to. He has no evidence. But go for it.
That's amazing.
He's going to talk for a while, but there is nothing.
The clean break memo is the foundation. Go ahead.
So, because I want you to engage with this. In 1996, it's not like maybe they supported Israel, maybe they're Jewish. Again, with the weasel words. No, they were Jewish. They were Zionists. They didn't probably support Israel. This was commissioned by the state of Israel. Bibi Netanyahu commissioned them to write this. And they write in 1996 a memo that says, in order to secure the realm of Israel, we need Saddam gone. We need Syria destabilized. We need Iran gone. These are guys that then go and work at the highest level positions in the DOD. They create the OSP, which creates the intelligence for the war in Iraq. And that was their plan, actually, to go into Syria. If you look at some of the classified documents, they wanted to go into Syria, but the Iraq war was a big deal. And we wound up supporting rebels in Syria anyway. So will you engage with the fact that that's a pretty clear connection?
It's not.
That's not.
It's not. You have to show that Israel was controlling the United States foreign policy. There was popular support in the United States for the war. There was support in Congress for the war.
Wow.
We got the authorized use of military force. We did the first Gulf War, and we did the second one. You don't need Jewish anything to explain any of that.
So a foreign
and naturally, there's a lot of Israel enjoys broad support in the United States by most of its citizens. You don't need to control the media. Okay.
We can talk about the media next. But he is saying the clean break memo. So you're saying that has nothing to do with it.
Sure. Remember, I mean, maybe, but the problem is what he'll do is he'll say 4 Jews were involved.
Amazing.
They might have even been from Israel, which I don't even know. I'd have to go look up every name. Usually when I look these people up, it'll be like they were born in New York to a Jew or something. I don't know about these guys in particular, right? But the issue is you can never show a connection of like, this was the plan, this is the evidence. It's always like, these guys were Jewish, they supported Israel, they wrote this document, they control the whole United States. Now remember earlier, I said, they couldn't just do it through the CIA? No, they had to make a separate office. Okay, what about the fact that all the United States supports them? Well, they control all of the media, which would be more impressive, by the way, than actually controlling the CIA.
We'll talk about the media here in a second, because that's another topic. I think what Nick is saying...
I understand. I just real quick, there's always this duality of they're kind of cucked and they really don't have any insight or infiltration into our intelligence agencies, but they also control the entire media apparatus of the entire United States. I don't know how they can do one but not the other. But
it's two different things, but what Nick is basically saying is that you have people that have Israeli interests at heart that are in high positions of the government that influence foreign policy for the betterment of Israel.
Yeah,
that's all he's saying.
For example, Zelensky, you said duality, his dual citizenship. Is Zelensky a Jew to you?
I don't think about people that way. I don't think about it. I'm not a Jew hunter looking for who's Jewish or who's not.
Let me jump in. Let me summarize my point.
Okay. So, go ahead.
Oh, fucking I was right. Apparently the guy was born in New York, 1941. Richard Norman Period. Yeah. Okay, so how many of these guys were even born? Were any of the guys that you mentioned?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Were any of the guys that you mentioned, were they born in Israel?
Point or what?
Can I just ask something? Sorry. Were any of the guys you mentioned?
They were born in Israel. I said they're Jewish Zionists.
Yeah, he did say that.
Why are you saying, oh my gosh, I said they're Jewish Zionists?
So they're U.S. citizens. Okay, go ahead.
I said they're Jewish Zionists, Destiny. I didn't say they were born in Israel.
They're American citizens, too.
They're
who have a right to serve in the military and our DOD, just like any other citizen.
International Jew.
It's so amazing.
Interesting that you didn't mention that, though.
Another eruption.
Okay, gotcha.
We're not going to control that. That's okay.
He did call them Zionists, which you can be a Zionist and hold a U.S. citizenship while simultaneously.
When you call someone a Zionist Jew, then taking orders from Netanyahu.
Wow.
I mean, it feels like
that's crazy. Yeah, there's no Zionist Jews with Americans. Yeah. Fucking Sheldon Adelson had American citizenship. Jonathan Pollard had American citizenship. It didn't mean they weren't loyal to Israel. Talk about literally just, if you're losing the debate, just lie about what the other person was saying. Wait a second, they were born in Israel. Throw my head up and laugh. Nobody fucking said that. I said they were Zionist Jews. I hope people are paying attention. Jeez. Yeah. Okay. So let me.
You want to summarize? Go ahead, please.
Let me summarize my point.
Stop laughing, Sneako.
You stop laughing.
Good.
So let me summarize my point. My point is this, okay? It's not just 4 guys. I said, and this is the whole debate. I said you have guys at the highest level of government. I'm talking about these specific guys because it's so egregious. They get commissioned by a foreign government to write up a strategy for that foreign government, and then they go and implement it in the United States government 10 years later. And people can say, well, but there was support for the war, but the American people supported it. I threw out evidence and said, well, in 1998, all the same Jewish neocons, including all the 4 authors of the memo, including all the people that signed that letter on September 15, 2001, they signed a letter to Clinton in 98 before 9/11, before the WMD stuff, supporting a toppling of Saddam Hussein. In other words, they wanted it before there was a 9/11. They wanted it before there was popular support, before it's in the conversation. 9/11 happens, and within 5 days, it's not just 4, you got 40 prominent Jewish neocons, Washington Post, Weekly Standard, New Republic, Wall Street Journal, New York Times. They all write, and by the way, all Jewish columnists too. Charles Krauthammer's another one. they all sign a letter saying you got to go to war, not just in Iraq, but against Hezbollah, against Syria, against Iran. What I'm trying to do is paint a picture. I'm not saying that the Jewish lobby is omnipotent. I'm not saying that they control every aspect of government. I'm saying that it's not a coincidence that they're there. It's not innocuous that they're there. That was the original premise of the debate is, are they just people that happen to be there and do things? Or are there people in these positions where it becomes problematic because they have a tribal loyalty, a political, religious loyalty? That was the thesis of the debate. I never said, they control everything and this and that. And I think that's been basically established. But you want to debate like, well, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? Without actually engaging with any of the evidence I provided.
I've engaged with everything you've given me.
No.
Okay. But you're not providing anything compelling.
Okay.
I don't know why, if for everything you're saying, for instance, so first of all, let's acknowledge you are purporting that these Jewish people are among the most powerful and influential people in all of world history, right? If they're controlling literal foreign policy from the United States of America, which is the strongest empire that has ever existed in U.S. history and in the world history, right? You're asserting that these people are the strongest and most influential people in all of world history. And then you're telling me that for the first Gulf War, they couldn't just get rid of Saddam after he used chemical weapons. You're telling me that they needed 9/11 to go in to Iraq the second time. Why didn't we also go into it? You're saying that Israel wanted to get rid of Syria. They wanted to get rid of the Ayatollah in Iran. Why the fuck didn't we go in? Why didn't we go to those two countries next, right after Iraq? We went to Afghanistan, didn't we? We didn't like Pakistan. We went into there to kill Osama bin Laden. Bin Laden. Why didn't we just go right into Iran, right into Syria after Iraq?
Well, and I addressed that. Again, it doesn't mean that they are omnipotent, but they are pushing for that constantly. They are pushing for war with Iran constantly. They're pushing for war with Syria constantly. And you're ignoring the fact that there is a shadow war going on against Assad in Syria. There has been for over a decade now. And that is supported by Israel. That's supported by the United States. And by the way, it also has John McCain's fingerprints all over. We could get into
why not get rid of Assad like we did with Gaddafi if the Jews are so influential?
Because the war was extremely unpopular. Barack Obama gets elected in 2008 on this, we're going to end the war in Iraq. And Barack Obama actually,
whoa.
hang on. You're interrupting me. Okay. I'm answering your point. You said,
it's going to be 10 more minutes of rambling. I'm going to bring you back to this, but go ahead.
It's not rambling. Don't say it's rambling because we're making an argument here.
Rambling.
Okay. The argument is not that they control everything and they're so powerful. It's that they're extremely influential. They have a tribal loyalty. They use their influence to advance it. That's the thesis. So to say that when you say, well, why didn't they just do everything they wanted? Well, because I think that they don't have absolute control of our country. Thank God for that. It doesn't mean that they're not pushing for it. It doesn't mean that they're not achieving that to some extent. And they almost defeated Syria if it wasn't for the fact that Russia came in, if it wasn't for the fact that Trump came in. And actually, Trump ended our support for regime change in Syria. It was one of the first things he did in April 2017. And you know what they did a minute later? Chemical weapons attack. Amazing timing, literally. And I remember because it's when I started my show. In April
total goalpost move, by the way.
No, it's not a total. Whoa, it's not a total goalpost move. We're explaining about how these power dynamics work. Trump comes in, and I think it was a Friday or a Saturday, Pompeo, the then Secretary of State, it's Rex Tillerson. Nikki Haley come out and say, we're no longer pursuing regime change against Assad. Meaning, in other words, the United States was pursuing regime change like you said they weren't. Literally 5 days later, that following Tuesday, boom, chemical weapons attack in Homs. Will the United States respond? The same thing happened in 2013. And this gets back to... Hang on. I promise I'm almost finished.
Jeez.
Then this gets back to the Kurds. When they say, oh, well, they're gassing their own people. They said the same thing about Syria in 2013 with Obama. They said the same thing in 2017 with Syria and Trump.
It's always the random names,
it's not random.
Yeah.
It's not random. We're explaining how this stuff works rather than, the Gaddafi was a total freaking asshole and so was Assad. We're saying that there are competing interests here and there are political realities. They couldn't support another ground war in Syria after Iraq, after it was wildly unpopular, after they tried to do nation building. They fought a shadow war there anyway, and they tried to force two presidents to go to war. They tried to force Trump into a war. They tried to force Obama into a war in Syria. You're rubbing your face. Did that not happen? Was there no pressure to go into Syria?
Okay, so firstly, you lied about your thesis. You lied about no. If you want to go point by point, we can do that. But now you just rambled a whole bunch of dumb shit. So
but you're rubbing your face like that's not true.
Yeah, because everything you're saying is wrong.
So was there pressure for Obama and Trump to go into Syria with boots on the ground, 100,000 troops?
But we didn't do it, did we?
No, because they don't control everything. But there was
they only control the most powerful nation in the world when they want to, but not when they don't want to.
They did it in 2003, and it became wildly unpopular.
Right now, you said the JQ, and I pointed this out at the beginning of the conversation because I want to make this known, and I'm going to reiterate. You just rephrased the JQ as some Jewish people of Jewish descent in the United States have loyalties to their home country or the home country of their families. That is not the JQ. The JQ does not say people whose parents come from Israel
You're telling
that
me
are
what
in the
the
United
JQ
States.
is?
Yeah, well, because you're dancing about
I
a
know
very
what the
weak
JQ
version
is,
of it.
believe
Because
me.
I agree with your version of it. I agree with your version of the JQ.
Okay, then we agree.
We
Debate
do.
over.
We do. People who have Israeli parents probably like Israel. That's not a very compelling conspiracy, though. The real JQ is the idea that Jewish people in the United States government have an undue influence that can supersede or rewrite the will of the American people or other politicians in office to use the United States as a puppet for Israel. That's the JQ. The JQ is not. Can you acknowledge that, or do you think the JQ is just that some Jewish people in the United States like Israel?
Oh, hold on. So
there's like 20 other things you said.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No, because if we're gonna go real JQ, what it was originally put out there by Hitler. What do we do with the Jewish people? They're a problem for society. We need to get rid of them.
Well, and that's what he thinks the JQ is. The JQ is not just Jewish
There's
people.
100 other countries.
But you gotta modernize it now. So that was the original JQ. Was like, what do we do with the Jewish people? That's where the Havara Agreement came in.
Well, yeah, but remember, he said Netanyahu wrote the document and then gave orders to the 4 Zionist Jewish people in the United States.
Well, I'm
in
getting
order
there.
to, yeah,
What we're saying now, he's arguing, right? So the JQ, that's what it originally was, but now it's more modernized. Now, what the JQ is nowadays is, do American Zionists who have dual allegiance to the United States and Israel, do they push Israeli interests before their own as American citizens, especially in U.S. government? He's saying that they do. They write foreign policy that influences American policy that benefits Israel, which puts the United States in compromising situations. He cited wars, etc., that weren't necessarily always in our best interest. And he's saying that they don't control everything, but they definitely have a very strong say in American foreign policy. That's what he's arguing.
And if there were wars that the United States is running into to its own detriment that it didn't have popular support for, that might be something I would agree with, right? However, Nick himself stated, why didn't we go into Syria? Because there wasn't the popular support. Wait. This is so important, okay? Because it's part of the conspiracy. He said, I asked, why didn't we go into Syria? Because he said that the Jewish people wanted us to get rid of Iran and they wanted us to get rid of Syria. But we didn't do that. Why? Because there wasn't popular support for it. But earlier, when I asked about popular support in the United States, he said the Jews controlled the media. What changed? There's always a reason why at some points the Jews are in control of what they need to be in control of to explain something. They control the media. That's why we went into Iraq. It was manufactured consent. Well, then why didn't we go into Syria and Iran afterwards? Well, I guess the Jews didn't control the media then. It doesn't make sense. Also, he brings this thing up about how Trump tried to end the war in Syria because ostensibly he's not bought off by the Jews, except Trump himself admittedly loves Israel, loves Jewish people, like every old person in the United States does. And Trump did one of the most unpopular moves worldwide and to Palestinians. He moved the fucking embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, a move that I think was only recognized by like 3 countries in the world because it was so unbelievably unpopular. So I don't know how you're going to sit here and tell me that Trump worked in defiance of Jewish control in the government while also being one of the biggest Israeli simps that the government has ever had.
Yeah, so let's take this piece by piece. First of all, without interruptions this time. So, and not rambling, I'm going to address all your points. So in the first place, I mean, you just got done saying, well, I agree with your version of the JQ. I'm arguing with some other JQ. I'm arguing with something else. If you want to talk about other things, we could get into other things. But I said my thesis at the beginning.
We'll cover the media next. The Jews controlling the media next.
But if you didn't listen, then that's fine.
Go ahead, Nick.
So I said that about the JQ at the beginning, and you're like, well, if you're saying that. And by the way, I love the throwing the head back. It's so adorable.
I love that I'm de-radicalizing in real time.
And then another interruption.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then the other thing is this. So then you throw out and say, well, wait a second. They brought us to war in Iraq, but they couldn't bring us to war in Syria? Yes, because the little thing called 9/11 happened in 2001. So there was widespread support, not just for a war against Afghanistan or Iraq, for a war on terror. People are calling for a holy war against Islam, a civilizational war. We go to war in Iraq under false pretenses, like we talked about. The people that created the Office of Special Plans, that manufactured the evidence for the war in Iraq, were all Jewish Zionists that wanted a war in Iraq for Israel. And by the way, all the people that pushed the evidence was the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu. It was also all the Jewish Zionists in the media, which you never seem to address either. You say, well, they control the media. I told you, 40 of the most influential publications published a letter on September 15th calling for that war. We go into the war on a false pretense, riding popular support that was based on 9/11 and the false pretense. The war is a disaster. There's high casualties. It goes on for a decade. It's wildly unpopular. And you say, oh, so, they control the media and the war machine sometimes, but not all the time. Yeah, they had more play after 9/11. They had more play when they manufactured the first line to Iraq. They didn't have as much play to get us into Syria. It doesn't mean they didn't use the same playbook. They did use the same playbook. They used a fake chemical weapons attack in 2013. They conducted shadow warfare against Syria in the same way, funded the so-called moderate Syrian opposition. They brought back ISIS, all these kinds of things. Just because Obama came in, and Obama was anti-war just like Trump in a certain respect, just because Obama balked and turned it over to Congress and Congress said no, doesn't mean the Jews don't control everything or they don't have influence or something. They exhausted the mandate they had from 9/11, and they also destroyed their credibility with the WMD lie. The same is true in 2017. So just because something, I mean, Iraq happened, 9/11 happened, to say that things are not the same today as they were then does not disprove the point that Jewish people have influence. What's more, and this is the last thing I want to say, because you actually said
media.
You actually said something revolutionary. You said that Jewish people have loyalty to Israel, and you said it like, duh, yeah, I fucking agree. But it turns out that's the definition of anti-Semitism. That's what got me in so much trouble from the beginning. I was a normal college conservative, and then I put out a tweet in 2016, and I said, you know, if you have dual loyalty to Israel,
right now?
I said, if you have dual loyalty to Israel, I said, you're not an American patriot. And Ben Shapiro comes in and says, well, that's the definition of anti-Semitism. And I looked it up, and it is. That's the FBI, that's the State Department, that's the CIA's definition of anti-Semitism. So what you just said, if you say that Jews have more loyalty to Israel, I absolutely agree. That's the basis of the JQ. But earlier you said people do things. There's Asians that are programmers. There's Mexicans that are landscapers. Now you're saying Jews may have some loyalty to Israel. So, I mean, you can shift the goalpost, but you change your mind on that over the course of this talk.
Okay. Now, the next topic that we're going to talk about, as you guys know.
Oh, wait, can I just one important thing?
Just
really one important thing.
Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Then I'll hit the next topic.
Why did Trump move the embassy to Jerusalem?
Because Sheldon Adelson paid him. By moving the embassy is a symbolic gesture.
Do you think
that's the same as a ground war in Syria? Honest question.
Is it the same as a ground war in Syria? No. Although Trump did bomb Syria, didn't he? Didn't Trump bomb Syria?
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah,
he bombed the airport, right?
Minuteman missiles.
Sure. So he did bomb the airport, and he moved the. So Trump is avowedly pro-Israel. Yeah. Trump moved the embassy to Jerusalem, which, by the way, Jerusalem is one of the most important battles right now. Jerusalem is one of the most important battles right now for Israel. Right, is gaining complete access over their literal fucking holy city.
Not
right?
Really.
No, that doesn't matter. You don't think most Jewish people don't give a fuck about Jerusalem?
Because it's not strategically important. What's strategically important is Lebanon and Iran. Dipshit.
Oh, the two countries that we weren't able to invade as the United States.
The two countries that are pushing us to go to war all the time.
Why didn't we go to war with Lebanon over Iraq? If that's so much more important,
that is the plan. That's the plan.
Wait, why didn't we do that though? It borders Israel. Why did we go to Lebanon over Iraq?
You want to know why?
Yeah, tell me.
You don't even know the answer.
I don't know. I want you to tell me.
You don't even know the answer because you're ignorant.
I know.
Because the real threat isn't Hezbollah.
Okay.
The threat is that there is a network that connects Hezbollah logistically to Iran through Syria. That's the problem.
Yeah, but the network wouldn't matter if Lebanon wasn't loyal to their interests.
It's not true because you'd just be moving the border north. The reason that Israel wants to take out Syria and Iran, you could look this up, is because Hezbollah pushed them out, and Hezbollah wouldn't exist without the support of Iran and Syria. Okay. And you want to talk about geostrategy, that's the problem.
So the Jewish people want to take out Lebanon, Syria, Lebanon, Syria, and Iran. They want to take out those two countries, and somehow these fucking retards got us to go with Iraq? The only country they don't want us to take out? Good one. And they do it twice. They fuck up twice.
You know what's amazing?
2 times.
You know
and Gaddafi in Libya? You know where Libya is? You know what continent Libya is on? In fucking Africa. Why the fuck are we going down there?
Try to calm down.
Yeah.
First of all, here's the amazing part. If you read the clean break memo, the first country they say to take out is Iraq. So, that's
okay.
We didn't know that because you never read it.
We talked about the geopolitics.
Myron, that was a blitzkrieg. I gotta say, best fucking hit follow and subscribe, nigga.
We got 95,000 people watching right now.
That's it. Come on.
Everyone else is too scared to talk about this.
We need about 6 million in that chat.
So yeah, guys, share this with everybody. So now we're gonna get into the next topic here. Okay. Kanye West went on Drink Champs and he mentioned that the Jews control the media, they control the banks, etc. Obviously, he got debanked right after.
Right.
Lost his billionaire status in a day, pretty much. Everyone, went crazy on him, saying that he's anti-Semitic or whatever for acknowledging that Jews have a disproportionate amount of influence in banks and media,
Hollywood as well,
and Hollywood. And people didn't like that.
So far, that Harley Pasternak threatened to take away his children and said that I'm going to send you to Zombieland to medicate him. Okay. So, and this again was he was a certain group of person, and all of Hollywood, they wanted to medicate him and control him.
Yeah, and Kanye West, I will say this, he brought this topic up to light, which is why people have been talking about this and were scared to talk, actually more likely scared to talk about it, because you can get canceled for talking about this shit.
Yeah.
And they can take away your family. That's the threat. Harley Pasternak also was the same person, like speaking in Ellen Page's ear, and now Ellen Page is now Elliot Page. A lot of these Hollywood handlers, they give you this woke ideology instead of making you speak up. If they don't want you to speak about stuff like this, that's why everybody's extremely afraid to talk about it.
So I will say this. I will go ahead and turn it. Nick, do you want to kick this off with the media, Hollywood, etc., or if you want to just keep it direct with the media, so we can stay focused, we can talk about that. Or does
I've got a good way to lead it off into that if you want to talk about that.
Lead it off,
please.
Real quick. Yeah. Was that a Roman? I thought I just saw a Roman go up.
I'll show you a Roman.
All right,
Lightning more. Let's go fast.
Lead it off. Hey guys, do me a favor. Check all these guys out. All their links are below. Support Nick on cozy.tv/Nick. Support Destiny on YouTube. Support Zherka. Support Sneako. Rumble.com/Sneako. And then check out the official John Zherka on everything else. So guys, support these guys. Like I said before, everyone else is way too scared to have this conversation. You ain't gonna catch content like this anywhere else.
And chat, after this one, if we don't go live for a week and you compare our content to what the fuck Ethan Klein shit you've been watching, you're gonna be suicidal. Don't be suicidal, chat. Remember, you support us, we give you more gold like this. And Steven, I was just gonna ask you, right? I was gonna ask one question. Do you agree that all foreign wars, Democrats and Republicans both agree? Like that's the one time they don't have any friction against each other. Isn't that kind of suspicious? Like especially for Middle Eastern wars around Israel.
Not really. It probably shows that we only go to war when there's strong consensus in the United States about going to war.
Okay. Go ahead and lead off
I
with
just
the
thought
media.
it was interesting about the media.
Right? Yeah.
One thing that's really interesting is if you actually read that clean break memo, Syria is referenced first, like multiple times over Iraq. So you just totally fucking made that up, which I thought was really funny.
Just Googled it on your phone, but you can read it on the show.
Let's not digress, Destiny.
You can read the show. You just Googled it on his phone. He didn't read the full thing.
All right, take it. Did you want it to kick off with
No, I want to bring that up, but he totally fucking lied
Kanye
about
said that the Jews control the media in Hollywood. You could go ahead and take. Do you agree? Disagree? Is it in certain components? Go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look. I mean, the Kanye thing is just basically undisputable. I don't know how anybody could look at that and not see exactly what happened, which is simple cause and effect. He talked about the Jews, and then he got totally financially ruined, reputation destroyed, ruined in the media. And I was there in the war room with him as it was happening in November and December, and it was literally like could not find a fucking lawyer. Like he was being sued by Adidas. It was some civil thing. And I remember him like literally could not find a business lawyer to come and help him. This is a multi-billion-dollar deal.
Wow.
So I wanted to hear Destiny start off because I want to hear the rational Reddit explanation for that. You know, what happened with Kanye.
The rational explanation is if you attack Jews, if you attack LGBT people, if you attack minorities, you're probably going to get shit on in the United States.
Really?
That's not true. Zherka attacks Muslims and then he has to.
I fight them on the street.
He fights in the street.
3-on-1, bitch.
If you attack Christianity,
two of them, you fucking goat fucker.
If you attack Muslims, then you'll have physical altercations.
Isn't he literally permanently banned from Twitch?
Not for that. And
Not
hold
for
on,
that
hold
at
on.
all.
You're saying
you're
saying if I attack Mexicans, JP Morgan is gonna fucking float down from the fucking gates of synagogue of Satan? Are you fucking joking?
If you attack anybody, I don't think anybody will give a fuck because you're John Zherka.
Well, hold on. Explain to me this since Ben Shapiro's little bitch ass is watching, huh? You little Turbo Zio bitch, fucking bitch, fuck you, fuck Media Matters. You're afraid of competition. This kid would have whooped your ass, you fucking boring fuck. But check this out, Ben. How come Ben can shit on my black African nigga community and talk about crime statistics for decades? But when Kanye brings up one Jewish question, JP Morgan and the whole world tries to cancel him. And what's funny is every single argument, when everyone stood up to attack Kanye, everyone's argument, they froze and it got very awkward. Piers Morgan, everyone, they're like, they didn't know what to say. The point that Kanye brought up was never answered.
Right.
They just punished him. What was the answer? What was Piers Morgan's answer? You don't remember because no one answered the fucking Jewish question. That's the point.
Because bringing it up is
Answer the
interesting.
JP Morgan
What
thing.
was
Answer the
Kanye
JP.
asking? What was Kanye asking? What was the question?
If Ben Shapiro can attack black community and nothing happens, why did JP Morgan shut down for Kanye?
What do you mean if Ben Shapiro
He
can
asked
attack the
one
black
Jewish
community?
question and JP Morgan shut down $200 million.
Zherka, let him please
Ben
answer.
Shapiro
Sorry,
made
it's my
one
black
tweet.
side. I got low IQ and high testosterone. Sorry, it's a
Ben
warrior
Shapiro
dude.
made one tweet about what was it, like Arabs don't build anything, they just destroy.
Oh, he lost his bank for that?
And he didn't lose his bank for that, but he's been shut out or attacked for that for fucking
Didn't he-
15 fucking years over that.
his
shit.
career broke after that.
Let me just make sure I get this. Basically, what Nick is trying to say is that when other classes of people are criticized, they don't feel they don't experience the same level of debanking, cancellation, and I guess vitriol that you do if you criticize a certain country and a certain group of people. If you criticize blacks, if you criticize Hispanics, if you criticize Christians, white people, whatever,
I'm asking you honestly,
consequences.
is there an example of somebody with a 10-figure net worth that has come out and shit on any minority group of people?
Mel Gibson.
Donald Trump.
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson?
Yeah, and
the
which
guy whose
community?
entire career got fucking destroyed?
Exactly, but which community destroyed him, idiot?
No, but I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Let me listen, okay? I'm asking you.
Wait, what? You want that one? You want Mel Gibson too? This is like science, bro.
Guys,
Hold on, wait a second. Hold on. It's been a while. I'm sorry. Wasn't Mel Gibson canceled because he literally said the N-word in that phone call to that lady?
No.
Hold on. I know you guys want to, but my understanding, didn't he leak that phone call where he told that he was his mistress or ex-wife
He
or
was
whatever?
talking about Jews
and he was
when he was
talking about the
dropping the
N-word,
phone.
or was that just Jewish people?
Jews got mad because he said nigger.
Guys. It's
been a long time. I don't follow every single fucking
Let's
drama
be
thing,
respectful to Destiny's viewpoint. Again, I'm just here moderating. I'm just simplifying it. All Nick is saying, right, and Kanye West said this as well, is that if you criticize other people, you're not going to deal with the same consequences. But if you criticize anyone that's a Zionist, Israel, Jew, anything like that, and say anything about, they're disproportionately represented in certain places despite only representing 2% of the population, they're going to cancel you.
Sure,
That's all he's saying.
But my question is,
because I want to state it.
Wait, real quick, because you can even vibe with this. Are there any other billionaires that are shitting on minorities so that I can compare? Like, for instance, has Jeff Bezos come out and said, like, Mexicans run this shit, I don't like them, blah, 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 and nothing happened to him? Because my understanding is typically when you're worth that much, you don't usually attack any
Go ahead, you can respond.
Trump said we're going to ban all Muslims from America. He didn't lose Twitter. He didn't lose banking. He got the Republican
He just
nomination.
said he's going to do it again, too.
Yeah. So there's one.
And he was forced to regulate relations with Saudi. Like, they still made him do something for their Jewish friends, Saudi.
Well, and let me say some more on this. So, in the conservative movement, it's well known, you can literally say fucking anything about Muslims. You can go in there. Glenn Beck is he's not worth $1 billion. He's worth $250 million. He can go out there and write a book that says it is about Islam. And in the book, he argues that Islam is an evil religion and they all got to go from America. He's worth $250 million. Robert Spencer, not Richard, but Robert Spencer, he's a Jewish anti-Muslim guy. He could go out there and say similar things. Milo at one point, who's a Jew, could go out and say, I'm going to go and burn the Quran in Sweden during Pride Month or whatever the fuck it was 10 years ago. And he's got bank accounts. He's still got Jewish support. And same thing with Ben Shapiro. Shapiro literally called for a genocide. I'm not sure if you're even aware of that, but he wrote a column and said, transfer is not a dirty word. We need to ethnically cleanse Israel and get the Palestinians out.
Total
that was
faggot, by the way. Ben Shapiro, total faggot. Faggot in the chat for Ben.
And that was in addition. To saying that Arabs bomb shit and live in open sewage. He never faced any repercussions or penalties. It's of course only, and even Leafy. Leafy can go on Twitter and say LGBTQ people are evil and all the stuff that he didn't shout out Leafy. He's been doing a great job. He hasn't lost his Twitter. Elon personally told Ye he cannot come back to Twitter.
Yeah, look,
why the fuck
Twitter.
do you think that is?
Nick's still banned on Twitter.
Do you think that if we look at so we can explain this with two ways. Either one, I guess because Jewish people are in control of who gets banned from all of these organizations, or two, can you not just look at where broad U.S. support is and realize that companies are probably doing things to keep broadly the United States citizens like in line with their corporations? So if you were to ask, for instance, if you were to poll U.S. citizens, do you broadly support Muslims in the Middle East more, or do you support like Israel and Jewish people more? Everybody over the age of like 40 is literally an Israeli simp, Donald Trump included, as much as he seems to want to avoid that.
Wait, your original argument was you could get in trouble for any minority attack.
There are certain. I think that if you get on Twitter,
this is cheating. What he's doing,
he's formulating his argument.
I think that if you get on Twitter, and I think if you shit on like right now, I think if you do like LGBT people, I think you're probably going to get a lot of trouble for it. I think that if you shit on,
you won't get banned.
Define trouble. No. We're talking about JP Morgan, bro. Stop saying
JP Morgan. My understanding is Kanye literally shit on the CEO of that company personally.
What? You think that's why he went down?
I think he literally shit on that company personally. Yeah, he shit on the CEO of that company personally.
So how come he can't get one fucking lawyer? What I'm saying is,
I'm saying is, also Kanye West is fucking insane. What I'm saying is literally, he's got fucking manic bipolar because everybody in the world I don't have manic bipolar.
You take Adderall and you're fucking.
I don't take any Adderall. Go search my apartment and find a single fucking pill. When I'm all on stimulants like you, I stop projecting.
We have to let him formulate his argument. He's giving a response for why people don't deal with the same consequences.
If I'm trying to figure out like where is the repercussion of the American people, I can try to go by Jewish people that sometimes control the media and sometimes don't, or sometimes control the government, or sometimes don't, or sometimes push their interests, but they're not from Israel. Or I could say, what do the American people broadly support? I don't think America right now cares that much about people in the Middle East. So if you come out and you shit on brown people or people from the Middle East or Muslims, I don't think they care that much. Now, if you would have shit on Ukrainians, I think that probably would get you a lot of pushback right now. If you would have shit on Jewish people, for a lot of reasons, that probably would get you a lot of pushback right now. If you would have shit on black people, depending on how you do it, that probably get you a lot of pushback right now. But I don't think that it's just like the Jews.
Can I go?
Go ahead.
The reason why there's so much emotional baggage with that tribe is because of all the Hollywood movies on World War II depicting them as victims, but none about the people Stalin killed or any other dictator, Tojo's fucking Jap face. I'm telling you, you've never actually wondered why every World War II movie is from that point of view, that lens. Literally every Hollywood movie, me and Nick growing up were like, Inglourious Bastards, oh no, oh, this is the only tragedy in history. Nigga, I'm from a war. I'm a refugee, bro.
And you showed it in this debate. You insinuated a couple times that I'm a Nazi, and you said that Nick is a Nazi. That's the most insensitive thing to call somebody. I said that Nick is a Nazi.
You literally started to call me far leftist. You don't even know what communist and socialist means. You said I was a communist.
Who trained you to spellcast to disparage someone with the word Nazi? Who trained that in you?
I don't think anybody at this table.
Which part of the media put that impulse in you?
I don't think anybody at this table is getting dispelled with the word Nazi.
Do you think a fat Chinese media outlet put that impulse in you to call him a Nazi? Where did you learn that behavior?
By listening to what he says about Jewish people in the United States.
But when you call someone a sexist, communist, faggot, whatever.
Do you think I do that a lot? Do I call people sexist?
Well, no, we get it from the external world. So media trained us. Why did they train you when you're losing an argument to put a mustache on him?
I called him a Nazi once at the beginning of the debate. None of this is about me just calling him a Nazi.
Why is it the most powerful word you can use?
It's not. The most powerful word right now is probably racist. I think, or transphobe. Those are the ones that were more shut up right now.
Do you hear what I'm trying to say or no?
What?
Like that you were trained by
you're
media.
saying that there's some manufactured consent because Jewish people run all the fucking media in the U.S., blah, blah, blah,
like
blah.
At 8 years old, you watching Inglourious Bastards, Schindler's List and all that.
Do you think there might be a reason why the United States...
Kosher bagel boy.
Do you think there might be a reason why the United States is more interested in like what happened on the Western Front than the Eastern Front?
Say it again.
Do you think there might be a reason why the United States is more interested in what happened on the Western Front rather than the Eastern Front?
How is this relevant?
I'm going to kill myself.
All right. How is that even relevant?
Let's go back
because you asked me, why are so many movies made about World War II from that perspective?
Okay, Destiny.
Yeah.
Can you explain, I guess, the disproportionate...
How about this, Steven?
Zherka, chill, man. You had a chance, bro. You had a chance. I got to keep the shit somewhat controlled and not too wild all over the place.
What, Rumble? Be wild.
Yeah, no, I know that, but... what I'm asking, Destiny, is do you have an explanation for the disproportionate level of punishment for criticizing anyone from Israel or Jewish people versus other races? That's what they're addressing.
My guess is for older people, broadly speaking, everybody old in this country loves Israel. That's just a fact of the matter. Like everybody over 40 is a massive fucking Israeli simp. Younger people have issues with Palestinian stuff. More far right or far left people might have reasons for other reasons. Right, but broadly speaking, even Nick would, I think, attest to this. That broadly speaking, Israel enjoys wide support from the United States from Democrats and Republicans alike. So my guess is attacking that group of people is probably going to get you in more heat because you're dealing with people that actually vote, you're dealing with people that actually buy shit, and then you're dealing with people that are like running those companies, not just you people, but everybody that supports Israel. That's probably why it's not a good idea to attack that group of people.
I totally disagree. I mean, first of all, the left has been drifting more pro-Palestine as opposed to pro-Israel. So it's not everybody that loves Israel. And by the way, we're not even really strictly talking about Israel. We're talking about any conversation about Jews or Israel gets totally censored by big tech, gets totally censored and
why can you buy the book on Amazon?
Hang on, I'd let you finish. So let me jump in. You know, it's a fucking debate, dipshit. So I'm going to disagree, obviously. So when it comes to criticism of Jews or when it comes to criticism of Israel, it's not like this is something that's just happening. There are high pressure groups that exist like the ADL. When it happened to Kanye, it wasn't like Kanye said that and then collectively everyone got together and said, well, we like Jews more than we like Muslims, so that can't stand. The ADL came out there at the front like they always are. Anytime anyone says something remotely critical of Jews in Israel, and they wrote a letter to Adidas and said, you better fucking disavow. And the threat was this: if you don't, we're going to run a media campaign and say that Adidas supports Nazis. Don't buy their shoes. They've done this before. They did the same thing to Facebook in 2020.
Did you see the letter by chance? Did you actually see it, what they sent?
Yeah.
Kanye?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Did you see the one by JP Morgan?
It was public. The letter was public.
Because the JP Morgan letter was before.
Hey, let me finish.
He's explaining his stance.
Go ahead.
So,
and then the JP Morgan.
So the point is this. It's not that this censorship stuff just happens. Like, for example, people ask me all the time. There was just a girl over here on Friday. I said, oh, I'm banned from Twitter. She said, oh, but, they're reinstating people. Like, I don't know that. I know. And I told her, I said, yeah, I got reinstated for a day. Then I got immediately rebanned. I was one of 5 people on a list by the ADL that they said cannot come back to Twitter. And out of that 5, I'm 1 out of 2. That is, or 1 out of 3 actually, but 1 out of 2 that was not allowed to come back. That talks about Jews. Andrew Tate got to come back. Doesn't talk about Jews.
You did get to come back.
Donald Trump, and then got immediately rebanned. And all of my appeals got shut down.
Why'd you get rebanned?
They didn't tell me.
Because he called himself.
What did you tweet before you got banned?
He was on a
tweeted
space
a
and he
video
said,
saying DEFCON 2.
and he was in a space and he insinuated he was baby Hitler.
So yeah, you got banned because you did the same shit that got you banned initially. You got rebanned again.
I got banned for bullshit the first time. They didn't even tell me what I tweeted because I don't break the rules on Twitter. The ADL said,
why would Twitter
hang on, I'm still not finished. These interruptions get tolerated. Unbelievable.
Answer his questions about why you got banned in this thing.
So
if you can.
the point is,
yeah.
To say that this is just happening because, well, it's unpopular with the American people. First of all, Jews aren't super popular with the American people. I think most people have a little bit of anti-Semitism or a little bit sus of Jewish people. That's first of all. That's what we're always reminded. You want to argue at the same time that there's record high anti-Semitism. Yeah. Also, it's a popular mandate, which is why any talk about Jews gets censored. So it's not some spontaneous coming together based on popular support. It's groups like the ADL, which has a $500 million war chest that goes out there and uses the bully pulpit in the media to smear anybody as an anti-Semite, blow them up in the stock market, use their connections. That's what's been going on forever. So, and you're on your phone. I know you're Googling.
I'm writing down notes. I didn't get a notebook for you, so I'm going to write it down in the little chat box. I would like to be clear. I want to reiterate again. He will never answer a question I give him. He hasn't. I don't think he's answered a single fucking question.
That's just ridiculous.
Can you just explain to him why you got banned off Twitter, by the way?
I know why you got banned. I don't know why you're lying about it.
Well, you don't know because
you were in Twitter Spaces. You were in Twitter Spaces.
Hang on. Did you see the email I got from Twitter, which is why I was banned?
Yeah, I'm friends with Elon. He showed me.
Okay, so now you're just being cute. You didn't see it.
Oh, you don't believe I'm friends with Elon? I was on Lex Friedman's show. He hooked me up. Oh, wait. So what did the email say, man? What did the email say, man?
It said banned for violations of the terms of service.
That's all it said? Are you sure?
That's all it said. Yeah.
Oh, well, do you think that going into Twitter Spaces and saying shit like Hitler is base, I love Hitler, do you think that might be a violation of the TOS?
No, because what I said wasn't a violation of the terms of service.
Oh, okay. So just to be clear, it wasn't because you tweeted DEFCON 2. You didn't say that you hid that because you didn't know that I knew that you were in that fucking Twitter space, even though we listened to
your stream. You said it's because of what you tweeted, and I said this is why I tweeted.
Isn't it my turn to ramble? Don't I get to ramble a million things? Don't I get to ramble?
All right. You said that big people at home can see this guy's fucking
melting. You said that big tech is censoring JQ stuff. Okay. Elon Musk, Twitter is private now. Where's the pressure from the Jews?
They killed all his advertisers. They sponsored an advertiser boycott in December, and they didn't get all of them back, obviously. That's where you don't even know what you're talking about. They did the same thing to Facebook.
No. Okay. Fuck, that was a major L for me. Fuck, I didn't even think about that. Why are we in Rumble right now talking about this then?
Well, I've yet to be banned from Rumble.
See how they're all powerful that they can shut down Elon Musk, who is a fucking massive billionaire. What, the second or third wealthiest man in the world?
We'll see what happens.
On Twitter, they shut you down. Okay, Elon Musk, Twitter, private company. Rumble, publicly traded.
Amazing.
Holy shit. Rumble, publicly traded.
You're banned from everything. Whoa.
Why are you banned from Rumble? Why is he interrupting me? Because he wants to schizo ramble because his points are fucking retarded.
Your point is retarded. You're banned from everything other than Rumble. That's the point.
To reiterate, so if the Jews can pressure any fucking company, it's going to be publicly traded companies for a variety of reasons. You get the government involved in everything.
Let him finish his point, guys.
That was his point.
Then Nick is on a fucking fly list, and you're not suspicious.
Not anymore. He hasn't been on that no-fly list for a while, and he wasn't on that no-fly list for what reason?
Destiny, go ahead and say why he got banned off Twitter, and then make your Rumble connection, and then but y'all were interrupting.
5 seconds.
I want to make sure
just to be clear, we're doing the thing again where the Jews are so powerful, even in a privately owned company, they individually target Nick Fuentes, the most dangerous man ever, going to get him banned. Okay, but they can't exert that same influence on Rumble. What about on YouTube? Doesn't the ADL go to YouTube? Why are we banned on YouTube?
Let him finish.
Okay, go ahead. And I'm done. Go ahead.
Was that good? Okay,
go.
Nick, you want to address that?
I think Sneako wanted to talk.
You're saying that it's because he said that he loves Hitler and all that stuff. Doesn't that kind of prove the point? You were saying that you can criticize all minorities. You could say that you love Mao, you love Stalin. You could say that you love all these historical leaders. But when you say I love Hitler, for example, that is seen as the worst worst person of all time. That's one that we.
Hitler probably was the worst person of all time.
Why?
Wow.
See, but that's the program. That's exactly what it
He
is.
systematically led the murder and extermination of like
I'm
some
from
11 to 17 million people.
Stephen, I'm from an ethnic cleansing in 1999. They murdered most of my family. We didn't have a military. Nobody even knows about my fucking war. And I'm not farming sympathy and going to Jewish Hollywood execs saying, make a movie because I'm going to cry for 20 decades. Bro, I'm telling you, you only focus on World War II because you're programmed to. Dude, you'll never talk about Stalin like that.
Wow.
Right.
Who do you think you're talking to?
And then it also proves the point. If you're saying Hitler's the worst person of all time, but you're looking at all the other leaders that have caused genocide on other minorities, you don't see them as evil people, but Hitler is the most evil one because he genocided the Jewish people.
Bro, you can't say you don't see them as evil people. What is that insane dichotomy? Of course I think they evil. You know what I'm talking about?
So why
now?
is Hitler the worst?
Because they led an unprecedented systematic elimination
on who?
On Jewish people,
So did
on
every
Soviet captured
dictator in
people, on the
history.
Romani people, on Polish people, on gay people, and
Do people criticize him because of all the others? What group did Hitler genocide that people are really afraid about? Why do they say that Hitler's the worst of all time?
The two biggest ones are Jewish people and Soviet people. That's why Russia to this day defines itself.
Does anybody
as
care about
anti-Nazi.
the Hitler genocide on Soviets? Nobody talks about
that's
that.
all of Russia's foreign policy. Why do you think they talk about going to Ukraine?
You're lying. You're lying right now because you and I covered Hassan Piker saying Hitler wasn't bad for invading Poland. He was bad for killing Jews, and you covered that and you changed your position.
Okay.
Read the live chat more. Is that your notes? That looks like a live chat.
Okay.
Adam 22
Read in the
texting
live
it.
chat for more answers.
Adam 22, stop texting.
I want to reply because I never got to reply.
I want him to reply about the Twitter thing. Why did you get banned? He's saying that you got banned for something else. But
Why Twitter and not Rumble? I want to hear that.
Hang on. So,
Okay, why
well,
Twitter
first
not
of all,
Rumble?
he said,
Ramble.
there it is.
Yeah,
Not
there
to
it is,
derail
man.
because
Bro,
he has no
He didn't
answer.
start, man. Let him start. Go
Right? So first of all, you said, well, I know why you got banned on Twitter. And then I said, no, you don't. And then you made a funny, cute joke and said, well, I know Elon do. So no, I was told by Twitter that I was banned for repeated violations of the terms of service, even though I was there for 24 hours. But regardless, either way you cut it, my argument is they banned me because the ADL told them, because the ADL says jump and they say how high. The argument is, well, they banned you because you said you love Hitler. And like Sneako says, well, that would be an obvious contradiction. It would show that talking about Jews is obviously exceptional. It's not like other things. Leafy didn't get banned from Twitter. Leafy's going on Twitter and saying all gay people are pedophiles. All gay people are terrible. Do not be gay. Gay people are losing. He didn't lose his Twitter, but I make a Twitter and I lose it in 10 minutes. I literally make a burner with a fake phone number, a fake email, a fake profile picture. They know they banned me in 10 minutes. I use a VPN. So you're wrong either way. Now, as far as Rumble goes, this is always the argument. I remember in July 2021, I put out a tweet on 4th of July and I said, happy Independence Day to the gay country that banned me from all social media. And some faggot in the replies goes, well, you're still tweeting. And this is like the same argument. So wait a second, Nick Fuentes, you're banned from TikTok, Reddit, Discord, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. YouTube literally told us before we went live, you can't go live with Nick Fuentes because it would be circumventing a ban. So your argument is, so Nick, you're banned from every social media platform in the world, but you're still on Rumble. Ha! Case closed, point is proven. And it's just like the other thing where it's like, well, Nick, so you're saying the Jews control the DOD and the State Department, but they didn't go through the CIA, point is proven. It's always just like bullshit obfuscation. Obviously, they exert control. The ADL does this. They're belligerent, aggressive berserkers. They did this to Facebook. They did this to Twitter. They go for the advertisers. They go for the public campaign. It's probably why I don't have a deal with Rumble. I don't want to out anybody, but there's people here that probably have deals with Rumble, and there's other people. I think you have a deal with Rumble. I don't get a fucking deal from Rumble. I'm one of their biggest streamers.
Do you think it's because of the ADL?
If I went live exclusively every night on Rumble, I'd be pulling 6,000 or 7,000 viewers on Rumble. I should get a fucking deal. I don't get a deal. They don't talk to me.
Do you think it's because of the ADL?
They said no JQ. So the Kick literally
Do you
told
think Kick
people,
is influenced by the JQ? Or isn't that guy Australian?
They are 100% influenced by the ADL. Yes.
How?
Because they know that they're going to go after these platforms.
Hold on. Kick is all private equity. There's no advertisers. It's all crypto gambling. Where does the ADL influence Kick?
Let's move back to
No. Let me keep going.
I want to hear this one now.
Well, you should ask the CEO, because the CEO of Kick went out there and said no JQ on the platform specifically.
Why?
He didn't give a reason,
Exactly.
but somebody told me.
Whoa. You don't think it's
They said no free speech. The CEO actually went public and said that there's no free speech.
Now
on the
Aiden
platform.
Ross can go on there.
What is free speech
because
about?
when people
Racist
make
jokes.
because when people make streaming platforms, they don't want. And Aiden Ross has gotten in trouble for a lot of the edgy content he's did outside of the JQ shit as
get
well.
kicked off.
Never
What
canceled.
was the trouble?
Never canceled though.
Never
No,
canceled.
you got a 2-hour ban.
Google some shit more.
I don't. I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so number one. Here's just a quick question. You're not going to answer this. Do you have any proof at all that the ADL told Twitter to ban you?
Yeah.
What?
You look it up. Look up ADL,
No.
Elon Musk. No, swear
I'm
to
asking,
God.
is there proof that the
no,
ADL?
He's telling you, he's telling
The
you,
audience
Destiny.
can
Let
look
him-
it
let
up.
him
There's
answer.
literally, I mean, I could pull it up for you.
Yeah, tell me.
The
Destiny, let him
ADL
answer.
said there's 5 people you can't bring back. David Duke, Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, Donald Trump, Andrew Tate. I said this earlier. 3 people have not been brought back. David Duke, me, and Alex Jones. Elon Musk said Alex Jones can't come back because of Sandy Hook. Me and David Duke are the only 2 in the list that talk about the Jews.
But you did come back.
And then they rebanned
Why
me.
wouldn't they just keep you banned?
Maybe it was a mistake. I don't know. But they rebanned me in 24 hours. What do you mean? What do you? No, I don't understand.
Okay, I can lay this out so
I didn't
simply.
break the rules.
Here's
They rebanned me.
here is the appallingly
Amazing.
obvious take.
Right.
Okay, some speech is not corporately popular because all it does is it gets your platform in shit. You
Corporately
lose
popular.
advertisers, you lose popular
That's
support. Having people on the platform saying, I'm going to go to war with Jews, I love Hitler, shit like this, literally doesn't benefit them at all. The same as if somebody got on a Twitter account and just started spam calling people to kill themselves, or was just spamming like fucking, I don't know, videos of people getting killed. I don't know, that's against TOS, right? We don't need a conspiracy to explain literally any of this. I'm sorry. People probably don't want you in Rumble because people don't want Rumble to be seen as just a platform where all the Nazis go. Okay. Elon doesn't want you on Twitter, although he gave you an unban because as soon as you got unbanned, within 24 hours, you were already tweeting crazy shit and then you were back in Spaces talking crazy shit. People don't want you on Kick, a company owned completely by private equity with no external advertisement whatsoever. What is tying all of these together? The ADL, which is only spending $500 million, 5 times the XQC deal. You think that's enough for them to keep every single one of these social media platforms under their thumb? What was Elon's individual investment in Twitter? Was it like $33 billion? And you're saying $500 million is enough to keep Facebook, market cap of what, $1 trillion fucking dollars? Facebook, Twitter, private equity held, Kick, private equity held, Rumble, publicly traded. Somehow the ADL is keeping you off of all these platforms. Don't you think it might just be the case that people don't want you because you're radical, you just spew right-wing talking points, and it's bad for the platform?
Yeah, let me answer that. Let me answer that.
Just to be clear, well, you can after I
Let Destiny finish. Let Destiny finish.
Every single ban you have
Ramble.
can be very easily explained by this is not popular, makes our platform look bad, and we don't want it. And I don't have to invent, like, sometimes the ADL is a lot of pressure, sometimes they keep 5 people banned, but they accidentally unban me, but then they remember to reban me, and they somehow influence publicly traded companies to get rid of me, but not Fresh and Fit that have me on them. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about it. So first of all, you said, could you show me where the ADL? Because I'm sure someone in chat said that didn't happen. It's right here. If they Googled it, October 28th, 2022, 5 things ADL is watching following Elon Musk buying Twitter. Point number 1. In addition to Trump, other high-profile and dangerous individuals may be allowed to return to Twitter. David Duke, Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones, Andrew Tate, Steve Bannon. These are those are the 5 that they listed.
But Trump got unbanned, and you got unbanned.
Hang on. I already said that. I said the 3 that have not been allowed back, me, Alex Jones.
You were allowed back.
Hang on. You don't even let me finish.
Because your
Marlon doesn't even say anything. When I interrupt or laugh, I get fucking called out.
Yeah.
When you interrupt, no one gives a fuck.
My bad.
Anyway, that's okay. You're cool. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying.
Didn't Andrew take on a bench?
Cheating.
Let him finish. He did specifically mention Andrew Tate came back. He mentioned that 3 people were not able to come back.
Andrew Tate came back because he's a Jew.
So
I addressed this. Trump came back. And now it came back.
Andrew's not Jewish.
And back to Stephen Bonnell with the gaffification. So I said the people that were not permitted back are people that, one, Elon Musk specifically said Alex Jones can't come back because of Sandy Hook. He's got a personal gripe. The other 2 that haven't come back, it's me, it's David Duke. We're the only 2 that talk about Jews. And by the way, you say, oh, well, maybe it's just because they don't want you. Maybe it's just because it's a brand risk. Really? And I go back to once again, you engage with like this part of it and blow it up. It's all sophistry. So let me ask you this, Destiny, with the face in the phone. If Leafy is tweeting every single day for the last 5 or 6 weeks, gay people suck, gay people, fucking pull up his timeline while you're on your phone and look at all the stuff he's tweeting about LGBTQ people. Why don't you look at that? That's not a brand risk, but I am. I went on my stream and said, which you didn't even listen to, I know. I tweeted nothing that was offensive. And on the voice chat, I said, we have to be radical. Alex Jones calls me Little Hitler. We have to lean into that kind of stuff. So now their policy is hate speech says you can't incite hatred or violence against a group, which is not what I did. They banned me in a very short time. They didn't give me a reason. They didn't tell me it was because of the voice chat. They just took me off. So if it's about bad content or something like that, clearly Leafy's content, and I'm not trying to get him banned,
You're
but Leafy's
nuking him. Stop it.
content
Switch.
is more against the rules than the stuff that I said. What's more, you didn't address the Kanye West was told personally, you can't come back by Elon. And what did Elon do? Or rather, what did Kanye do? Kanye tweeted the swastika. That's it. He didn't call for the death of anybody. He didn't say anything hateful. He tweeted the swastika
Not
and
even
the Star of
explicit
David.
swastika. It was.
It's the seal of Solomon. Don't say David. That's
Right.
a lie.
Okay, true. The
Star of Remphan.
Yes.
There you go.
So he tweeted that, and Elon literally told him when all the reinstatement was happening, no, you can't come back. So there's obviously a common denominator here. All the stuff that you throw out there falls apart when you look at the breadth of the evidence. People get more canceled for talking about the Jews than they do anything else. They do about gay people, about Muslims. Talk about goalpost shift. Initially, you said, well, people get canceled for anything. Not Leafy for gay people with a contract on Rumble and still on Twitter. Not all these Jews that bash Muslims. They're still getting contracts and they're still on Facebook. Only the people who talk about Jews in Israel. And I said the ADL is part of that. You always say, well, you say the ADL controls everything. ADL is a part of that. They're part of this berserker army that goes after these guys. And we could get into Facebook. I didn't get to hit that, but we could get into that later.
Yeah. Basically, you're saying the pressure is always there. But can I say one thing?
Yeah, sure, please.
Actually, I don't know how good faith Steven's being because I've watched Steven for years and a lot of people in chat have. Did you know there's one group of people he does not joke about for the last 4 or 5 years? Every other place he goes edgy. I can find a million clips of any minority group, but there is one where it's like, I can't find Steven doing any anti-Semitic comedy. He can go against blacks, Chinese. Like, if you really want to look for clips of Steven mentioning the Jewish community, it's fucking scarce. But he's an edgy guy. Right. He attacks everyone.
You've attacked Islam. You've made a lot of jokes. Even Zherka makes jokes about Islam too.
Yeah.
Okay, but why is it not
it's
easy
even easier to make fun of a nose?
Because it's like I've challenged people to come on my stream and give me like, what are good Jewish jokes? I don't even know any. Like everybody brings
I remember that stream.
There's a lot of jokes.
Yeah, I got
every single
What are you talking about?
I got a sesame
Jewish jokes. I know 30 off my head, but I want to keep my bank account. What are you talking
You're a
about?
Muslim. I'm sure you know all sorts of Jewish jokes.
I was just gonna say, that was Ryan Dawson calling me on Telegram. He just wanted to say real quick.
Dude's a homosexual.
It's actually funny.
Shout
He said Nick needs my help here. Zherka's useless. But
Who are you, bro? You weren't
said,
even invited, faggot.
This is what he said. He said Elon removed the ADL from the advisory board to trust and safety. Y'all Roth also had to step down. Nick was brought back in this window. Then they had a new Zionist at head of trust and safety and then banned him again. Also, I got banned on all those same things
Nobody
even
gives
before
a
Nick without saying any racist things at all.
Martin, he
There were
literally
others brought back and rebanned in that same window as Nick. So what he's saying is that they have people from ADL at the advisory board to trust and safety.
Are we just forgetting that he literally called Nick an anti-Semite recently?
Who?
This fucking faggot.
Well, Nick probably is an anti-Semite. Does he not say as much?
No, we're not going to read his shit.
What
He
is
didn't
it?
call him
Somebody who opposes the
anti-Semite.
existence
No,
of
you know what
Israel?
he did?
Anti-Semite. He said
I have no problem with Jews, but Nick is an anti-Semite. Who the fuck? Stop trying to grow your bum ass platform, faggot.
All right. Either way, the point is
Jesus King, fuck that.
Let me make this very clear. Hold on. Ryan Dawson and Nick are enemies, and he still said this to basically say, hey, look, Twitter does have some ADL influence, is what he's saying.
And also, in Nick's defense as well. So you are harping on the fact that he's on Rumble still, but to be honest with you, like speaking plainly in plain sight of the podcast itself, he may be in danger. You never know. So you're not staying behind the scenes either way.
I don't think he's in danger.
You never know. You never know.
I think if people wanted to get him, I think he would have been gotten by now.
Hey, I know this might be anecdotal.
But wait, real quick.
What are the chances the only streamer who ever mentions Israel from a straight white male, and that's not an attack on straight white male, it's an attack on Christianity. What are the chances the only streamer in internet history to just critique Israel is on a fucking no-fly list, banned from PayPal, every fucking platform?
Wait, why did he
what
get
are
on the
the
no-fly
chances
list?
Nick has this problem? If Nick was talking about the Great Wall of China, would he have this problem?
Okay, so all I'm trying to point out is that, like, if we look at how companies act and how they respond to consumer pressure, it's pretty obvious to explain every single banning that we're talking about. If we try to use this ADL lens, it is the most, like, unspecific, random, schizo fucking unbanning and rebanning ever, right?
Okay.
Wow.
Nick pointed out that the ADL said 5 people needed to stay banned, okay? And 3 of them got unbanned.
Okay.
Where's the power? That doesn't make any sense.
Which I already went over.
Yeah,
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
But again,
I got a great question
you
for
got all 5. You just ran for like 20
Once
minutes.
you finish, I got a question.
So it's again, and I'll point it again because I'm going to reiterate this all through the night because it's going to keep coming up over and over again. They're all powerful. They have all the influence. They control all of these multi-trillion-dollar market capitalization companies. But when they go to make these huge statements, the ADL says these are the 5 people that need to stay banned. For some reason, like 2 of them are the only ones that stay banned, or even 1 of them, and then 1 gets rebanned.
Do they critique Israel? Those ones that got on banned?
Elon Musk critiques Israel. Elon Musk really shit on.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You can go on Twitter right now.
You're putting Elon with Nick?
You can go on Twitter right now and find Elon Musk shitting on George Soros and saying he's like a fucking
Is that the same thing as talking about foreign policy and foreign aid?
George Soros is like the #1 fucking Jewish conspiracy accused guy in the fucking United States. Okay?
Wow, that's billionaire beef. That's not
so
Israel.
Elon should bring Nick back.
That's amazing.
I'm just saying that when you try to use, if you try to okay. Interesting.
That's so funny.
If you try to use this ADL lens, it doesn't explain anything. Why are some people? The answer for why Leafy is largely untouched is very obvious because nobody knows who the fuck he is or gives a fuck about who he is.
He's getting incredible impressions talking about that LGBTQ. More than your Islamophobic jokes.
Sneako brings up, and I hate Islam. Thank you for reminding me. More than what Sneako brings up. More than what Sneako's correct that Leafy is getting big in some areas, and that's why recently he has gotten pressured. Because as soon as Leafy started doing incredibly unpopular shit, now he's tweeting out that he's getting pressured by Rumble to chill his shit out. And I don't think it was because he was talking about Jews. I think it's because his content is extremely fucking edgy. Because newsflash, most people don't want that type of I love Hitler content on any of their fucking platforms because it's a bad look for literally fucking everybody.
Okay, so let me ask you because I really wanted to ask you. So Kanye West, people are still buying the Yeezys. People are still listening to the music.
Right here.
Right
Let's
there,
go.
yeah. Okay. Adidas lost, I don't know, $250 million or something like this because they had to remove Ye. So if you say that it's in response to consumer demands rather than the demands of the ADL, it's pretty clear. The consumers are still buying the Yeezys, but the ADL wanted them gone. So which one did Adidas listen to, the consumers or the ADL?
Well, Adidas is still selling Yeezys, aren't they?
No, they're not.
Didn't they buy the trademark to Yeezys?
No, they're not. They're done selling Yeezys. They fired Kanye. They're not selling them anymore. They have a bunch left over, and we're going to have to destroy them. So they said, we're going to sell them, but donate a portion to the ADL, but they're not going to sell them.
K.O.
So they're selling out of their stock. But regardless, the chances are because of Kanye West being the literally most unpopular fucking figure in the fucking world right now.
I don't think that's
not
true.
right
That's not
now,
true at
but
all.
when he started going on the anti-Jewish shit, yeah, it's not surprising that companies want to separate from that.
I don't think that's true. If you look at the comments on any of his interviews,
Overwhelming support.
people are agreeing with him. Where do you get the ideas?
we're looking at the comments on the YouTube videos.
Yeah, maybe in mainstream news he looks unpopular. If you ask the people, they are overwhelmingly supporting him.
Don't ask the dude with the nipple piercing, the anchor. I forget his name. Help me, the fucking weirdo. The nipple piercing CNN.
Yeah,
A24 in the chat.
Yeah.
Total
Did you say?
Okay, and then also hold on again. Wait, real quick, because Nick is just
Google
lying.
it.
Adidas will sell Yeezy shoes after all, May 12th, 2023.
Yeah, they're selling the stock that they had before and donating the proceeds to the ADL.
Sure. Oh, never mind. Okay. He's right.
He did say
You're
that,
fucking
Destiny.
wrong.
Okay,
He did say that.
Doesn't even know what he's talking. This is the smart guy, by the way. This is a debater. Oh my gosh! But googling the entire debate,
we got some.
what a miserable
This
performance.
is so unfair to give Steven a med kit. He's fucking getting knifed up by Nick the Knife and the Knickers.
I want to make a statement. though.
Jesus Christ.
So
There's a combo of this
Hold
man.
on. Destiny is right though, because on these platforms, it is their platform. So, truthfully speaking, if you endanger their advertiser or the money, they're gonna want you out. So that is true though, Destiny. There's some chats here as well.
Give him an HP potion. Let's go.
I want to give Sneako.
It would be it's not in any platform's best interest to have Nick Fuentes in your platform. When you start talking about Israel and the JQ, they don't want you on. The advertisers don't like you. You're a threat. People don't want to invest in your company. It's bad for the PR. They don't want you on. Like, it's not good. But
Steven, your position is that Nick was edgy. That's why he got nuked.
But
it's fucking retarded position.
And you're not the edgy guy tweeting like cube jokes about
and I've
Islam.
gotten banned off of platforms too.
Make a Jew joke. Can you make a Jew joke?
I know any Jew joke.
Hey, text Adam 22.
Okay, so Destiny, let's do a test.
Stuff, man.
If you're so secure about the JQ topic, right?
Yeah.
How we do a whole stream about it and expose it like how
Wait, can I do a Jew joke
on Twitch?
Yeah, of course.
Just kidding, you're on Twitch.
Banned on Twitch. Yeah.
Can I do a Jew joke that's pretty heavy? I've done it before, but never live. Or is it?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Okay, it's just a joke, right? Just a joke. I don't even.
Are you sure it's a joke?
I don't know. I'm gonna regret this one, but I hate Hitler. Actually, I'm not gonna do this. I never mind.
Okay.
You know where I'm going. One question. It's so bad because he did not.
Destiny made a really bold claim that we kind of glossed over. He said, "I hate Islam. Why don't you hate Judaism?"
Yeah, good question.
You gonna ask chat too?
No, I'm good. Do you even know anything about Judaism?
No, but why do you not hate Judaism?
I
probably
a lot
I
about
hate all
Judaism.
organized religion. I'm an atheist.
So do you hate Judaism?
Sure, yeah.
You hate
Yes,
Judaism?
Probably, yeah.
Let's fucking go!
So
I don't hate Judaism.
I don't even hate Jews. I'm just here to get famous and rich. Twitter.com/SNEAKO
I don't hate Judaism.
Okay, is that Leafy? Is that Leafy?
It is Leaf.
Oh,
shit. Destiny tried getting me banned off Rumble, and Twitter threw that dude out the window, bro. He lost the debate, Nick W.
Oh shit.
Just as a heads up,
Okay.
I've never tried to get Leafy banned from anything.
We're only reading 100 and up.
Leafy tried to mischaracterize. He tried to say that I spent 4 hours on the phone with people from fucking Rumble to get a ban. None of those conversations ever happened.
Yeah.
He made that
Chat.
completely up.
Listen to Myron. He got a surprise for you. Myron, what do you have for this chat? Because they think we're peaking. We're just getting started.
Yeah,
and Super Saiyan 1 is, what's up, nigga? I can take it further. I can go further beyond, nigga. Let's go. What is it, Myron? Give it to them. What are we doing today? And fuck Andrew Tate's bald ass head. Come fight me. No. Come on. No. Shit. There's something wrong platform. I love you. Go ahead.
No.
There's a Gentile in this bitch.
Hey.
We got girls. We got
We got
Jewish
girls. We got girls.
women coming
we got
here for
girls.
after
We got
hours, but we need 100,000 follows to start it.
Look, man, Andrew's the homie, man.
Yeah,
I know you had your beef with
don't-
Andrew, bro,
don't
but
do
it's
that,
like,
bro.
come on, man.
We wouldn't diss you, bro.
Yeah, we wouldn't diss you.
Come
bro.
on, bro.
Bro,
And if someone
I was
talks
talking
about
about
thing,
Andrew
I'd be
Tate.
like,
I wasn't talking about. You know who I was talking about? I was talking about.
This nigga, bro.
Yeah,
I was
man.
talking about a different Andrew.
And we would do the same thing. If someone came out like, fuck Zherka, we'd be like, oh, well, that's our
Well,
homie.
here's why I'm
That's our
angry.
homie.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a tweet
And we would
involving
do
my
the same
boy.
thing. We would do the same thing if someone said some shit about you.
It's a tweet
Do you want
involving.
to address the Twitter stuff that happened?
What is that?
Do you want to address that?
I don't want to do it on their platform. They're my boys, bro.
Okay.
Is that fair to do? No, that's not fair.
Okay. I mean, it's a discussion.
HXCTXR.
What's the discussion?
Well, there was Tristan and Andrew.
No, we're not doing it here.
Okay.
HXCTXR. Come on, Sneako.
97K viewers, wholly pulling
Just
them
talking.
tape numbers. Yeah. No, I mean, well, we're
Bro,
already
don't
addressing
say
this.
that.
JQ. JQ. We're already been answering.
No,
but
but
that's stupid.
Tristan and
Just roll it. Just
shouldn't be
go.
on here,
Keep
bro.
going. Just
Come
keep
on,
going.
Okay. W fucking stream. We can't have this goated panel and not tackle the flat earth debate. Zherka and Sneako versus Nick and Destiny.
No, later, bro.
Zherka Unleashed. Let's fucking go.
I'm on
Jesus,
Team
King of all
Zherka.
kings.
Let's go.
We should ask the girls what they think too as well.
And wait, Myron.
I really think she goes, this stream will go down in YouTube history, Rumble history. I will say this. No one else has talked. We're the biggest platform that's talking about the JQ. No one else will do it.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Rogan to do it. He ain't gonna do it.
Rogan's hinted at it.
Huh?
Rogan's hinted at it.
But he won't do it though.
He hinted at the atrocities in Israel. He's the closest mainstream platform to actually question it. Like, with good
Yikes,
faith.
Cope. This is the greatest. Toe Rogan has talked about. You're saying Toe Rogan has sounded like Nick ever in his life.
Once Joe Rogan checks the early life Wikipedia on Peter Hotez, I think he's going to go down the red.
Alex Jones had the best position. He's like, it's not the Jews. It's the Jews being tricked by the Jews.
My thing is here's my thing. Here's my thing.
Alex, we love you.
And I'm gonna say this. I'm a fan of Joe Rogan. I like Joe Rogan. He inspired a lot of things that I do. But I wish that they went and had these tough talks about American foreign policy when it comes to the betterment of Israel at the detriment of the United States. I wish they had these
He
discussions.
got attacked by the ADL after he was talking about and how you can't talk about the Jews, but you could talk about the Italian mafia. They said that he was comparing it.
bro.
No, Joe Rogan has hinted about it.
He hasn't had a full conversation.
Not a full conversation, but closer than Tucker.
If
Matt
anything,
Walsh.
what they'll do is they'll bring someone on and they'll challenge them. Like Lex Friedman brought Kanye on to challenge him about that, but he didn't. For obvious
Joe Rogan
reasons.
didn't push back like
Lex
you're
is a
supposed to, like
cop.
everybody else.
But can we admit this topic right here will get you fucked up?
Whoa. Why?
So that's what people don't know about it.
Hey, Steven, why is there so many viewers for this
Yeah,
topic?
we got almost 100,000.
Because they want to hear about it. We're breaking it over to
I
window.
want to know why we can't talk about like a black people or another group. Why is this topic so fucking viral? I want to
100K
know
on Rumble.
Because
why.
you've got, bro,
Why?
Because you've got Fresh and Fit,
So-
you've got Nick Fuentes, Zherka, Sneako, and
You're
Jessica.
saying
So we can literally talk
100,000
about
people
anything.
are paranoid. You're saying 100,000 people are paranoid about Israel. You say, what are you saying, bro? You're saying they're all crazy?
I'm saying that people probably watch us talk about
Are
anything.
they all conspiracy theorists?
Probably.
It wouldn't be 100K if we were talking about
Yeah.
Mexicans or we were talking about Muslims. It'd be 40 or 30.
Maybe
People
if it was
really wanna hear
Latinas.
this.
A Latina's fat ass
Yeah.
could get some views.
Definitely by far, everyone else is scared to touch this topic. And here's the thing.
I'm never touching it again. I'm getting rich.
Nick made a lot of very solid points. I know this you might disagree or whatever, but he made a lot of actual very valid points about American foreign policy being compromised for the betterment of a foreign nation, which is not what we should be doing. You know what I mean? Okay, let's.
This is like a taboo topic anyway.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. I want to say, Myron, and I don't like you, Steven, but I got to say, because the truth defends itself, and Nick, I know he doesn't even have to prepare to win.
Glaze.
You did phenomenally well coping.
Shut the fuck up.
No one did coping. Didn't he do good coping?
Also,
No,
what do you
I
mean
thought he
didn't
did a bad
prepare
job.
it well? He does this shit on
Who
his show every
you
fucking
think
night.
Hassan
Holy
Piker could
shit.
do that? Hassan Piker's a fucking retard. He could never do what Steven just did.
No, because I think he's just ignorant. Like, I think he has no foreign policy
So
knowledge.
which influencer would beat Steven defending that position? That's
Probably an
impossible?
actual Jew. Like Ben Shapiro would probably fare better.
No, he hasn't even talked to you.
They're trained in the Talmud.
But
They're
you're
trained
saying-
in the Zohar.
Hold on. You're saying if Ben Shapiro was better than Desi, a bigger brain, he'd be here, but he's terrified of you.
Yeah, that's why we got to make that one happen.
And I think here's the thing: everyone here at the table has different takes on this. My thing is, and I agree with Nick on this. People might get mad at me. I genuinely do agree that if you are a Zionist, you cannot be an American patriot because having dual allegiance doesn't make sense. You have to pick one country, and if you are a Zionist and care about Israeli interests, a lot of the times it does not coincide with American interests. So that's what it is. But you will get labeled a certain thing for saying that, and it is what it is. But
for me, it's crazy because for me, it's like as a comedian, it's like I want to say some jokes. I really want to make a Jew joke and stuff. But dude, we're sitting here pretending Kanye's children weren't taken from him for a fucking question. His mouth moved sonically. He got his fucking kids taken. And you want to sit here and say he's fucking crazy and manic? What if it's your kids, bro? You don't give a fuck. What did he
raised
do?
He raised a controversial question. My thing is, again, this is my take on it. Jews aren't bad people. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that there's an issue with Zionists that are in power that unduly influence American foreign policy that puts the United States in a compromising situation while simultaneously putting Israel in a leverage and power position to wage wars without any risk to Israel. That's my issue.
And Destiny admitted in this debate, he said
I don't have an issue with Jews. I have an issue with Zionists that have power.
I can nuke it right here. Dude, I have never, ever met a Jew behind closed doors. We're not live. That didn't say, yeah, we run shit. We run banking. They admit it. Are they conspiracy theorists too? Even Jews admit it.
Okay, question for the panel. This topic right here. Does knowing it help you in your day-to-day life?
No.
To be honest.
That's the Tate.
So then why is it
talk
so
about it?
big?
Because Jesus is king and they're trying to reject their Messiah. Christ is king.
Well,
it's a holy war.
It is important to think about, especially when you do business with people, because if you do business with people that believe, and if you look at the Talmud, you could see certain examples where they think that it's okay to lie to other groups, that if you're goy, that you're not one of us. They have a certain allegiance with each other, and that's just part of their book. The Talmud means teaching. If you look at actually the Torah, it says that Jews are the chosen people. So if they carry that belief, if to their core of their religious text, they believe that they're chosen, and things like interest on loans and the way they do banking, which is completely haram in Islam, that's going to affect the way you do business with people and how you navigate the world. What? So if you don't know this stuff like that and you go blindly and you go in with good faith thinking that everybody is going to be completely on the same page as you, you can get manipulated. So it's important to know
Doesn't every religious group think they're the chosen people?
Yes, they do.
That's not true.
No, but that's not true. Christians don't think they're the chosen people.
No. Here's why. Because Christianity is a universal religion. In order to become a Christian, you need to be baptized.
Jews are bloodline.
And in order to be a Muslim, you say the Shahada. Is that how you say it?
You say your Shahada.
You practice the 5. It's fasting, almsgiving, those kinds of things.
Yep.
Judaism is only ethnic, and they'll say
that's literally not true.
That's
literally mom.
Your mom needs to be
You're
Jewish.
wrong about
You're
that.
wrong. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Guys, let Nick, because he started, let him talk about it, and then we can.
It's called
Destiny.
birthright.
Yeah. So Judaism, they say that it's not universal; it's exclusive, and they describe. I mean, there are so-called converts. No real Orthodox Jews regard converts as
Orthodox
real
Jews aren't the only Jews.
I know that, but
how many converts are billionaires? How many converts are billionaires?
That's a good point. But also
zero.
And regardless, the point is that it's exclusive, not universal. So they view. If you look at the Talmud, it says this. It says that non-Jews are beasts. They're beasts in the shape of men. And they say that beasts aren't fit to serve us, the real people, so God made beasts that are shaped like men. Yeah. This is not, by the way, some crackpot. This is the head rabbi for the Sephardic Jews in Israel, said this in 2010, that the Jews are, the Goyim, work for us.
Who bows to him? Netanyahu,
yeah.
He bows to this fucking old fuck.
So every religious group of people think that they are the chosen people. That's why you are a religious people. And also, the idea that you can't convert to Judaism and it's only ethnic is just a lie.
You can't intermarry. You cannot intermarry within Judaism. That's forbidden in their book. They think that it's bad to marry.
Wait, you're telling me a Jewish person and a non-Jewish person can't marry each other?
They're not supposed to.
You're just wrong.
In Islam, that's not true. You don't know what you're talking about.
You don't think you can go to Israel? You just said it by the month. Wait, you just said it by the mom's side. Why would they even have that rule if it was always mother and father were both Jewish?
Your mother
You're
is
contradicting
illegal.
yourself. You literally can marry into it, and you can convert it in other ways as well. You absolutely can.
It's forbidden.
Steven, let's
Just fact check it in your chat, like you're doing the
I
rest of
have
the
Jewish
debate.
friends about Israel. I know
That's
facts
good
on
chat.
this.
Okay, chat. Okay, guys, let me finish my point.
Yeah. I want.
I
that's
got
what
you
I was gonna
hurt.
say.
I'm
Let's-
sorry.
let's-
Yeah.
let's-
Go ahead.
Right.
Jews believe they're the chosen people. They do not want other people. They're an ethno-religion. They're ethnically a group of people. That's why there's so many atheist Jews. You don't even need to believe in God, and you're still going to be a Jew forever.
Ethnic Jew doesn't even make sense. There's like 5 different ethnicities
I
that are
agree.
Jewish.
I agree.
No.
To
I'm
Jews.
saying that even what you're saying, there are different ethnicities that are Jewish. There's not just the Jewish ethnicity.
Well, they all come
What is
from
it?
the tribe
Steven,
of Israel like, over time.
Steven, what is an Ashkenazi?
It's one of the ethnicities of Jewish people.
It goes-
But there's like
it goes
4,
back-
I think
it
there's like
goes
4
back
others as
hundreds of
well.
years.
Hold on, wait.
You're
Do you think every
derailing, though.
Jewish person is
Oh my
Ashkenazi?
gosh.
You know what's funny?
No, answer that.
No,
answer that.
you
No,
win,
I
you
want
win.
to hear
You
the
can
answer
have
to
it.
that.
You win.
I want to hear that
No,
answer.
you know
Do
what
think
you're
every
saying?
Jewish person
Why
is-
what you're
is that the
saying is
only type of Jewish
irrelevant
person?
and a waste
No,
of
tell me, do you think every Jewish person is an Ashkenazi Jew?
No, only the winners.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, you're getting, you're getting past the point. There's many.
No, the point was you make shit
No,
up.
you absolutely fell apart with that.
No, you
I said
don't.
Jewish
You
ethnicity.
said there is no
Jewish
such thing.
ethnicity. There's no Jewish ethnicity.
Hold on, man.
Guys, can't make this a dog pile. Sneako, finish your point, and then we'll let.
Ask your chat to show you the link where it says that Jews cannot intermarry because it's true, right? In Islam, you can marry other people of the book. We believe that other people of the book can go. You don't even have to be a Muslim to go to heaven.
Wait, is that why that's why you guys
Yeah, let him finish, Zherka.
But that's why they marry
Let
goats?
Zherka stop.
Okay,
Let him
okay.
finish, man.
or camels.
As long as you are a good person in Islam, you could still make it to Jannah. You could still go to heaven as long as you have good intentions in your heart. It has nothing to do with your ethnicity. It has nothing to do with the allegiance. So as long as you're a good person, that's why I believe in Islam. That's why Christianity is very similar, but Judaism is
In
not
Christianity, you go to hell if you don't believe in God.
right. But there's a lot
Anyone
of
can
similarities.
believe in God.
Well, how is that a similarity? That's why somebody
Anybody can become a Christian. Not anybody can
No,
become a
that's
Jew.
not your wrong.
Even if you convert and you go through the 7-year process, they will never accept you as
Hold
a
on,
Jew.
You're called the chosen people.
It's
So
that
hold
simple.
on.
That's the
To
core.
Destiny's point, he is saying every religion has its people that say, you know what? We're chosen because we have the right religion.
But you know, it's not people fresh. Ours, a Filipino can be a Catholic. What's up, nigga?
Wait. And then Jews are born into their chosen right. I'm just saying
Right.
every religion is on paper right in their own eyes.
But Judaism,
let me jump in.
Judaism is
Here's
not
why it's
based in
different.
faith. It's based on ethnicity.
Exactly. That's why it's different.
That's
because
the only
even
religion, yeah.
even
I
when
agree.
you ask, no, let me jump in here because this is important.
You
This
should have
is-
actual Jewish people here to explain.
This is
'cause
what
holy
makes
fuck.
them. This is what makes them different. They will regard they call them non-religious or non-practicing Jews. They still regard them as Jews. You could talk to any Orthodox Jew. They regard a Jew that doesn't practice the law. You know, they don't strap on the tefillin. They don't do the
They
prayers.
fuck the wall.
They don't do that shit. They still call them Jews. And, you know, it's actually true that Jews are leading the charge in terms of atheism, yet they still call themselves Jews. What other
Zuckerberg.
religion is like this? No one would say I'm ethnically Christian. No one would say I'm ethnically Muslim. You might say you're Arabic. The difference is that one is a universal creed you can accept through faith. The other says that we are human beings and everyone else is animals. And you can look in the Talmud, it sure says that non-Jews are animals. You can't marry them. It's akin to bestiality. They say that the issue of a Gentile is like that of a horse. That means that our semen is like a horse's semen. It says that. It's also, last thing I'll say, it's the only religion that hates Jesus Christ. Every other religion, Islam says that Jesus is a prophet. Buddhists and Hindu, they're a little ambivalent about it. Christians obviously worship Jesus. Judaism's the only religion that hates Jesus. And these are like the most famous rabbis. Maimonides, who's one of the most famous and influential rabbis from Spain, said that he wishes all Gentiles would die. He said that Jews should not rescue Gentiles if they're in peril, if their life is in
Fuck
danger.
that nigga.
It's in the Talmud. Israel
there's-
Shayhak has a
Yeah.
book
I mean, there's
about this.
extremists on
First of
both
all,
sides, right,
so-
Nick? You can concede
No,
that
but that's
there's
their
extremists
holy
on both
book.
sides.
That's the Talmud. That'd be like if the Bible said this.
And you got to remember, Christians
Wait,
are
wait,
telling
wait,
Jews.
wait, hold on.
Christians
Wait.
are telling Jews convert to Christ. You
All
can be saved.
First of all,
they're not doing
Let's
it.
let
pretty
Destiny
sure
say his thing.
Judaism regards Jesus as one of the prophets. Yes.
No, that's Islam.
Absolutely not.
No, fuck. That's
Islam.
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 Number two.
You don't know what
In the
it's
United
called,
States, wait,
nigga.
hold on. Number two. You've literally never opened a Quran in your life. I don't know why you're even
That's
talking about
not
religion.
true.
Okay.
I'm
Number
halfway
two.
through.
Have you
said
have a
you
favorite
hate
verse yet?
religion? Yeah,
Do you have a
but
favorite verse yet?
it's right here, the background on my phone. You said you hate religion that you don't even know anything about.
Okay. Number two, literally 40% of Jewish women outmarry in the United States. Why? How is that even possible if it's illegal according to their religion?
Because
Can I
they're
answer?
atheists.
Can I answer?
Wait. So is Judaism? Are they considered then like real Jews or not?
Well,
They
he
are
did say
by
that there are
Jews.
people.
Wait. So they're considered real Jews even if they're not practicing, and then they can outmarry. Are those other people considered
Yes,
Jewish
they
then?
don't, if they don't practice the law.
Okay, so if you have a Jewish woman that marries a non-Jewish man, and then they have a child, does that child have birthright in
The
Israel?
child's considered a Jew, yes.
Okay, if you have a Jewish man and he marries a non-Jewish woman, does that child get birthright to Israel?
A Jewish man, non-Jewish woman, I don't think
They
so.
do.
No.
Like you could literally have any connection whatsoever to Jewish lineage,
you're wrong about
and they will let you.
I'm not sure
Israel
if
will
that's
give
true.
birthright to fucking
Either
anybody.
way, but it says birthright.
Not
Birthright
either
by
way.
what?
Not
By
either
what,
way.
Destiny?
Not either way.
By
But I'm
blood.
just saying this idea that Judaism is this hyper exclusionary
But
fucking
Destiny,
religion is not true.
if
You
I-
can convert.
Do I have
Everybody
a birthright
considers
to
themselves
Israel?
people.
Okay, if it's
Do I
not
have a birthright
You
to Israel?
probably not, but it has more to do with what you say in Twitter
Steve,
space.
I
Unless
can,
you with your
wait.
ethnicity.
But if I went and said I believe in Judaism, I believe it's true, would I have a birthright to Israel? No.
If you
because
wait,
it's
what?
by
Say that again?
blood.
Yeah.
If I said Judaism is true,
KO.
I'm Jewish, I would not have a birthright to Israel.
If the mom converted to Judaism and had a child, that child would have birthright with no ethnic ties.
I don't think that's true.
not
It is true.
I don't think that's
is
true.
true.
According to what? Your chat?
No, according to friends I have in
I
Israel.
don't. Oh,
Friends,
Well, my
you make
friends
fun of
all the
anecdotal
time.
advice
That's true.
all the
We
time.
gotta move on.
And bullshit like
And
that.
really
some more
bad.
chats.
And you
here's
said,
the other thing too, because I know that.
Wait.
Look, I just want to say this.
I
No
have
one
a
here-
teacher. I have a
hold on,
question.
Hold on.
What's that,
I have
Zherka?
nine questions.
I want to say this real quick. Nobody here on the panel hates Jewish people. We're
Nope.
having a very tough discussion
I love
on
everybody.
Zionism, influence in American policy, foreign policy, etc.
Yeah.
No one here has an issue
Actually,
with
that's
Jewish
not true.
people.
Destiny said he hates Judaism.
Hold on.
Judaism is not Jewish
Hold on.
people. Do you understand the
That's a good
difference?
point.
And we're
man.
also at 100K live viewers right now. So shout out to guys in the chat.
You guys
Get
got
like Jewish.
okay. I share the same position as Nick. Buddhist, Muslim, Jew. We don't give a fuck. Christ is king. You have to convert.
Christ is king. Okay, cool. Some more chats here, and then we'll get to the
Disagree,
other
but
show.
okay. Raw House goes, Tucker Carlson had much higher ratings than Joe Reed, yet advertisers fled Carlson
And not read.
Yeah, and not Reed. Is there advertiser bias against the right? Why does Reed get a pass but not Carlson? I don't know what that. I don't understand.
Rabbi
August
Sneako
18,
Sucker.
2008, the day Nick turned 10 years old. The only film exposing them boys behind 9/11 dropped. 9/11 Missing Links, produced by Converse and ProThink, who red pilled the youth on the JQ since 06.
These guys are in deep.
I think actually it was Ryan Dawson, but
Yeah.
that's fine because Ryan Dawson was the real person that started that shit.
Last ammo.
Destiny, you are like every liberal who is analytical to a fault. Curious to hear your take on the assault rifle ban. Everyone else used Fresh and Fit at lastshotas.com.
No,
to save
bro, we
money
don't
on
know
ammo.
you, bro.
Fat Muja 203 goes, it's Nick Nuclear for God's sake. Let's go. This low vibration Smurf, it's not even in the same realm. Okay.
Nick the Nuke.
You had wanted something USA, Zherka, before?
I was just gonna say, Steven, you said it's not an exclusive group in any way, right?
Well, obviously, it's exclusive to people that are Jewish.
Is the interest rate they charge exclusive?
Bruh.
I'm pretty sure they don't
Stick it,
give
bro.
interest rates in the United States based on your religion.
So if you're a birthright Jew, you don't have better opportunities in jobs. Like
In Israel, you might. I don't know. It's not their
You're
country.
telling me you see bloodline Jews that are janitors, nigga? You know the Jews who can't think, they just go to Hollywood and become comedians.
Yeah.
Okay. Where can they find you?
Real quick, yeah, because we got the girls here. We're gonna start the show with the lovely ladies here in a bit.
By the way, we don't hate Jews, but damn, do I feel sad when I meet a Jew who's not intelligent. I go, that's like, how the fuck did that happen, nigga?
like I said before, we're having
It's like meeting a black guy who can't ball. Fresh.
We're having a conversation that everyone else is scared to have, especially when it comes
thank
to
you for
American
being a
foreign
comedian.
policy, Israel, and the Middle East.
I'm gonna
That
take a piss,
no
yeah.
one else wants to talk. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll turn it real quick to Nick and Destiny. I'd see that you guys disagreed on a bunch of things to include, the media, America foreign policy with, concerning Zionism and Israel. Destiny, I'll let you take it first.
What, like our
whatever you want.
summarizing
Are we getting kosher pussy right now? Or are we doing that?
Just go use the bathroom, bro.
Are we summarizing our final thoughts on everything?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like you can explain the what goes on in the world can be explained through so many simple things. It could be advertiser pressure, it could be foreign relations with other countries. Like you could look at like reported history as it's recorded, and it generally makes sense.
Okay.
When you start getting to this idea of like the Jews control everything in the United States, but not everything, just some parts of the government, but also all of the media. Sometimes they can manufacture enough consent for some wars, but not all of them. And when we do go to wars, sometimes we target the targets the Jews want us to target, but not the right ones. And sometimes it takes us 2 wars to do. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's a smorgasbord of random fucking claims and random things. The reality is you can find any ethnic group in the United States that will make claims about any countries. If you follow enough of these claims, you could probably manufacture. I've seen pictures where people show how many Irish presidents or how many Irish people were in positions of power in wars that we went at. Like, you could do this with any group of people. The reality is this predictive framework does not give you an actual analysis of the world at all. That's why when Nick brings up the ADL said 5 people had to say banned, and that's why I'm banned, even though I got unbanned and 2 or 3 of the other people are unbanned too. But right, it just doesn't make any sense. It falls apart at the seams when you actually take a critical lens and you're not just rattling off like 5 or 10 random wars that, upon greater scrutiny, like Gaddafi in Libya, like why we didn't go into Iran, like like why we didn't go into Syria, like why we went into Afghanistan, none of it actually holds up to scrutiny when you actually analyze the actual situation. So when we look at the documents even that Nick cites, you don't see that they were, as he reported, Iraq wasn't the first one listed on the clear break memo. It was fucking Syria that we didn't actually go in and put boots on the ground with, because we couldn't manufacture consent for that one, but we could for every other one. It's just the reason why, and even broader, the reason why people don't debate this is because there's nothing to debate. There are no strong claims ever, and that's always the issue when it comes to conspiracy theories. What is the strong claim? When I started out, I said the JQ, and apparently I'm the only one here that even knows the fuck the JQ is. The JQ is saying, no, Myra got it. The JQ is saying that there is a group of people in the United States that have an allegiance to Israel, that are most likely Jewish Zionists, that are leveraging undue influence in the government to work in a way that is to the detriment of U.S. foreign and domestic policy. That's what the JQ is. At the end of our foreign policy debate, Nick backed this up to, well, the JQ is there are some people in the United States that are of Israeli descent and they might like Israel more than the United States, which is okay. I don't even know if that's controversial. That's the JQ. Probably like 80% of people would sign up for it. So that's my point.
Yeah, well, that's just so amazing.
Yeah,
what an amazing retelling of that debate.
Before you make your final statements, if you said that it's all these wild claims, do you admit that the amount of Jewish influence is disproportionate to their small population in the United States?
I don't admit that. That's a fact, yes.
Okay.
Okay. My closing statement is, I mean, you could go back and watch it, and really anybody could just pay attention, watch how the ADL moves, watch who gets canceled, who doesn't, learn what people are deathly afraid to say. Kanye West said a lot of controversial stuff. It wasn't until he talked about Jews that he had these ramifications. You can compare me to any other conservative, and no matter how politically incorrect they are, they remain more platform because there's one topic that they, at pain of deplatforming and total ostracism, will not address. It's not rocket science. It's not weird. It's not random. It's not crazy. It's just pattern recognition. They're disproportionately represented in everything. You go to these, I think it's a website called jewishcontributions.com. They're all represented in finance, in academia, in government, and it's always to the benefit of Israel, always using their influence against this conversation. It's not that there's no conversation to have. Of course there is. They wouldn't be censoring it if there wasn't. We can analyze all the double standards. You can look into the evidence for yourself. It speaks for itself. You would actually need to just stuff your fucking ears and say, la, 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 like, nothing ever happens. Like, religion matters. Nationality matters. Ethnicity matters. These patterns matter. They're not coincidences. There are no coincidences. We cannot just believe everything they say in the media about war, wealth, allegiances, race. The reason that content like this is actually doing so well, 100,000 viewers on a dissonant platform where many of us are banned on YouTube or constantly at pain of possibly being banned, is because they do not want these subjects to be discussed. That's why all of this is happening. You couldn't explain it any other way other than mass delusion or something. So that's my closing statement. Pay attention. Not random, no coincidences, just pattern recognition. The closing thought, and ultimately, if you are an atheist like Destiny is, you believe that this group, the Jews, are just one group among others. And Dawson, to some extent, too. That's why he calls me an anti-Semite. If you are an atheist, you don't believe in God, then these Jews who have been around for thousands and thousands of years as a minority without a country that wield this influence, it's arbitrary. It could just be anybody else. I find that impossible without a biblical religious explanation. It's a religious war. These people hate Jesus. They have occupied the vessel of Christianity, which was Europe, and they are set against Catholicism. That's their number one enemy. That's why it matters in our lives. That's why it matters to talk about. It does affect everybody. If we want people to be saved, we want a good, virtuous society, it's got to be Christians running it, not people that hate Christians, which are Jews.
Okay.
Respect, man.
Yeah, hey, again, freedom of speech is important. You know what I mean?
And
you don't have to agree with all of it, but you got to respect his ability to say it.
AIPAC put out an article, I think 2 days ago, saying that 98%, and this is an Israel lobby, the biggest lobby in America, saying that 98% of the candidates that they endorse won their elections. It's not hidden at all. They're making public articles about it. They're bragging about it.
And
do you have some, Zherka?
yeah, just mine's gonna be it's not gonna be funny. So what you guys got to remember is, like, I get this DM, Nick gets it the most. It's like, what about money? Aren't you guys afraid that you guys can make so much money if you don't talk about this? Dude, since the 80s, the sexual revolution, purchasing power skyrocketed and everyone got rich. But anxiety and depression shot up so much, we're killing ourselves. Money is not the answer. Money is one eye. They're fucking satanic religion. You got to remember, guys, Christ is king. That's it. The money is nothing.
Do you have anything, Sneako?
I mean,
I thought it was a good discussion.
It was a great discussion, and it was actually a lot of
Opposing
internal
viewpoints.
monologue to even come here. One, I was sick. I was in Vegas, and I called Nick yesterday. I'm like, there's a lot of pressure for me not to be here. There's a lot of pressure for me to not associate with you. Ever since I first talked to you last year, we started doing those panels. People made all these jokes, like as I hosted a lot of debates with Nick and Destiny, saying it was like the devil and angel on each shoulder trying to bring me who's going to win the battle for Sneako's soul. But that's the motto of my stream, and everything I do is seek truth through funny. And I think if you follow funny, you find the truth. And that's exactly how I found Nick. That's exactly how I found out who controls the world and what's going on. And I think that if you look with an open mind and if you actually analyze, you're going to find the same answer.
And since Freemasons and the Treasury, Federal Reserve is filled with, the J's that Stephen doesn't believe, when Freemasons say signs and symbols rule the world, really ask yourself, during the sexual revolution, the peace sign, what is that sign? It's the cross upside down, snapped in half and inverted. They took us away from the church and we're killing ourselves, depressed, with high anxiety. You can't even enjoy a Ferrari with anxiety and depression. You gotta know what the fuck you're fighting, bro. You really think it's like, oh, it's just Christianity just lost because it's the digital age. Nobody gives a fuck about this faggot iPhone, bro.
You have something fresh?
So this was a great discussion.
It was.
We covered a lot and awesome points of views from both parties, Destiny and Nick, Sneako, and Zherka. I want to say this though. Ultimately,
I won.
In your daily life, right? What matters is you being successful for your family, yourself, and at the same time, have knowledge of this. I want to say JQ business can help in some instances, but really and truly, does it change your life? That's up to you to decide for yourself.
If you,
I think it's important for the people to know who run certain institutions. I think you need to know so that you can aware yourself and behave and move in a certain way that's not going to fuck you up. But I think this is a discussion that needs to be had. You know what I mean? This is something that no one else wants to talk about. Everyone is scared to talk about this, especially when it comes to American foreign policy and support for Israel, putting us in compromising situations and putting us in places we might not need to be in. But I like both perspectives. Do I agree with everything that Nick says? No, but do I agree with a lot of it? Yes. And same with Destiny. Do I agree with a lot and disagree with a lot? Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, you need to be able to have these tough discussions.
And one thing, let me close it, please.
This guy, man.
Jesus died for you. You owe him, nigga.
Okay.
Thank you, Zherka.
Crisis King. Okay.
Jimmy G, this is the last, what, one or two here? Three?
Three.
Okay. The red pill is the ability to think and have uncomfortable conversations without scrutiny. Shout out to FNF for providing this type of content. Shout out to Destiny for showing up to a losing battle. Nick Cooking. Okay. Wolfgang 3DD. Destiny how does the issues we have with unemployment relate to immigration? Nick, how do you feel about Mexican immigration? That'll probably come up on our next thing. And then last one, top only goes, is it a coincidence that the Talmud has 8 genders and the LGBTQ is pushed heavy by the establishment, which is, of course, run by the Zionists? Nick and Sneako, could you shed some light here? Sneako addressed it earlier.
Destiny's part of the LGBTQ community, and Tel Aviv boasts itself. All the tourism websites boast that Tel Aviv is one of the openly gayest cities in the world. It's a place for gay tourism, and they have the biggest Pride months in the world. So,
how does that work, though? I thought, weren't they really strictly adhering to their religious texts?
Yes, they are, because in the Babylonian ancient Talmud and their oral law, nigga, hold up, bro. I hate mixed race people because they're always.
You've been interrupting the entire show.
No, but check this out. You said, is it religious? In the Talmud, there's 6 different genders. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
This is an ancient.
You're telling me that for Orthodox Jewish people that they're not cool with we wouldn't call it interracial marriage. I don't know, with marrying people that are Gentiles and Jews, but they are cool with gay shit.
There's a lot of stuff they're cool with in the Talmud.
I love the pivot on that. Okay.
They're okay with abortion too.
It's selectively. It's like they super follow every single text of the religion so much they lie to people, they rig interest, etc.
Who said that?
But on the gay shit, they push the LGBT stuff even in Israel.
It really depends if they see you as their tribe or Gentile.
Okay.
They do switch it up.
I thought it was all ethnic, so I got confused.
And I will say
an ethnic answer. What the fuck?
When there's like photos of the Nazis burning books, it's books on homosexuality and transgenderism. That what's the guy's name?
Magnus Hirschfeld. Matt Walsh is a liar about that. He tried to insinuate that the Nazis created transgenderism. It was a Jewish man, Magnus Hirschfeld, started the World Sex Reform, who started all these crazy theories. The books that the Nazis burned were these books.
Yeah, Matt Walsh
completely lied about it. The
100%.
leading figure talking about how trans is destroying children. Be honest about who created it. Why would you lie about that? Who told you?
He's at the Daily Wire. He's at the Daily Wire.
Mac got the call.
So to be clear, the only books that Nazis burn are ones about LGBT stuff.
No, they burned a lot of books, but that was one of the books, and they don't talk about that. The misconception is that the Nazis were burning all these books about education. It was about sex reform education.
Yeah.
They don't tell you that.
Yeah, that's something that is
Matt
like
Walsh doesn't tell
the
you
pictures that when they show Nazis burning books, they say, oh, they're burning, Jewish biblical Jewish texts, whatever. What they're really burning is a lot of times books on homosexuality and transgenderism is what they were burning.
Or one of the biggest ones that's going to sound silly until you digest it. You could have an Avatar blue movie high budget and make a lot of money, but if you gave James Cameron Revelations with a 7-headed dragon with that kind of CGI, they are not allowed to release scripture-based movies, because if one little boring scripture can turn millions into Christians, that movie will convert the world. Hollywood is not allowed. Think about it. You really think the greatest stories ever told are not in Hollywood main big screen?
Oh, that'll never be.
Well, there's one called Left Behind. It's not. Is
it high budget? I've never heard of it. That's not Left Behind, nigga.
But there's one you can watch called Left Behind.
I'm glad that you brought that up because that's Al on Matt Walsh. Like, dude, you got to know who started.
But he does know. He's lying on purpose.
Yeah, he wrote an article.
100%.
Yes.
If you look at the tweet, you see how he says like Magnus Hirschfeld, a German, and in the first sentence he's talking about a Nazi.
Then.
He's trying to equate Nazi with German. They kicked him out of Germany. They renounced his citizenship.
Yeah.
Magnus Hirschfeld was expelled from Germany.
Yeah.
But he's explicitly doing that to try to get the leftists on their side, to suck up the Daily Wire. Matt Walsh, I really liked your documentary, but you're a liar and you know it.
Well, and he also wrote an article. A few people know about this. 10 years ago, Matt Walsh, if you go to, his Twitter is Matt Walsh Blog. If you go to his website, which is mattwalshblog.com, I think that's where it comes from. He wrote a blog post 10 years ago about, I think it was Chuck Hagel or one of the cabinet members of the Obama administration who was getting criticized for being an anti-Semite because he had said some of the things we say, like that Israel isn't our capital, it's not the 51st state. Matt Walsh wrote an article 10 years ago defending that guy, saying, are we really going to pretend there isn't a Jewish lobby in America? Of course there is. The capital of America is D.C., not Tel Aviv. And this is a guy who now works for Ben Shapiro. He'll never say that shit again, but that was the price. He's like one of the #1 conservative influencers. That's why now he has to say Magnus Hirschfeld's a German. But so if that doesn't tell you, he knows 10 years ago he said the same stuff that we say. Then he became one of the richest, most famous guys with Ben Shapiro.
You look at the history of any political operative or politician who's ever said Israel has a stranglehold on the American lobby. Just look into their history of what happened in their career after. There's not one dude who came out of that alive.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, like
it's
John F. Kennedy.
It's career
RFK.
suicide. It's career suicide, bro.
Oh yeah.
John F. Kennedy, RFK. I mean, we're gonna talk about that with Ryan Dawson, but yeah, I mean, okay, it is what it is, guys. I mean, like I think you guys were presented a bunch of facts. Research it yourself, man. You don't have to believe everything that was said on this podcast and this debate. Research it for yourself and you come to your own conclusion. I think that's the important thing. We're presenting ideas, you do your research, and then you independently come to your own conclusion. And shout out to Destiny and Nick for having this this debate. It was a great discourse.
Yes. Nobody's saying the Jews have unlimited power. We're saying the influence is so strong, it's affecting the way we have family units. They displace all the Muslims and bring them into white countries to attack the cross. We're saying the influence is strong. We're not saying what Destiny makes it out to be, where they're just like wizards and they control every fucking corner of their flat earth.
And then also, I want to make this also very clear. Nobody here on the panel hates Jewish people at all.
Actually, bring a lie detector.
People say that about Nick, but it's not true.
Not with me, though. Not with me.
I genuinely love everybody.
It's no hate. And it's important.
Jews,
win, lose, draw, agree, disagree. It's important that we're able to have these discussions, because it's our country. And I think regardless, we all have to support America being put first. Like, this country's being destroyed. We want America to be supported. We're patriots. We're nationalists. No hate. It's all love. Love for the country, love for each other.
And then, you know where the comedy lies is like, I'm the flagship leaving the real right movement behind Nick. But nigga, I'm a fucking Canadian. I need to get the citizenship if I'm gonna fucking die for this country, bro.
Yeah. Your country is focus on your country.
I got dual loyalty to Canada and US.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're gonna be back with some girls, man. We'll catch you guys back here. Chris, call it.
Midnight.
Hey, Jezebel.
Right. Maybe even sooner.
Hopefully.
But yeah, we'll be back with some lovely ladies, guys, and the panel. It's probably going to be Rumble only because we got Sneako and Nick here.
Rumble
so
only.
Just stay tuned to the space. We're probably going to start it on YouTube, man. Rumble only. We'll catch you guys. Peace.